Now we will begin with the part 1, the MCQ or the electronic part for the grade 10 elite. The first question is from lesson 1.3, matrices. Now here we have word problems, mainly word problems in this topic. Let's break the question down one by one. The first part of the question is analyzing data. A school track coach summarized the distance runners on his track team using the table at the right. You can see this is the table. Organize the data into a matrix. Now what this means is, here you have been given values, right? Distance runners were cross-country runners in this column, track over here, and number of girls in this row and number of boys. All you need to do is write them in a matrix form. So when we write in a matrix, we write a big bracket like this and write the values 19, 22, 17, 15. This is it. This is the answer for the first one. But let us understand what this is exactly. You can see this horizontal line, right? That is a row. I'll write row 1 because there are 2 rows. And the below one is row 2. What about this? That's column 1, column 2. Row is something that is horizontally like this, each rows. Whereas columns are vertical. So this is it. If you understand so much, now let's relate it to this given table. What exactly implies the rows? Rows are all the total number of girls, right? Because it's clearly mentioned it's girls. So row 1 means the number of girls who are distance runners. And row 2 is total number of boys who are distance runners. What about column 1? Column 1 is about cross-country runners, the total number of cross-country runners in the among both boys and girls, whereas column 2 is track runners. So that is how we can analyze it. So the first answer is just this much. Now what is B? Add the elements of each row and interpret the results. Now we just interpreted it a while ago, but now let's add them up. Each row. What you do is add these up. So it'll be 19 plus 17 and second row is 22 plus 15. So over here it'll be 636 and over here it'll be 537. So these are the answers. What does 36 represents? The total distance runners who are girls. And 37 are the total boys who are distance runners. That's it. We can see the answers here. You can see 36 distance runners who are girls. 37 are the boys. And last one, add the elements of each column. So now we just did rows, now let's do columns. Columns means this one. Now let's add them up. It's 19 plus 22, that is 41. And what about the next one? It is 17 plus 15, it is 37. Sorry, this is 32. So now 41 of them are cross-country runners and 32 of them are basically track runners. That's what we come to know over here, 41 and 32. So you just have to, this is all selecting, you will have 4 options. So basically they might just tell you interpret the row 2 or column 2. So you need to tell it's 32 that are total number of track runners. That's it. Now another real world problem. A charity sold tickets for a 3-day fundraising event. Tickets were sold individually and in gift packs as shown in the table over here. A ticket sold for $3 and gift pack for $6. Now I'll just write it over here. Each of these tickets were for $3, $6 for the gift packs. Use matrix to determine the total revenue for the 3 days. All the 3 days, how much did it cost? So what you need to do is we have to use a matrix. So let's do the same thing. Now over here there are 3 rows and 2 columns. That's right, 155, 208, 321. And over here it's 40, 96, 131. Now what we basically do over here is add the columns because they're clearly told find the total revenue in 3 days, right? There are methods. You can even do matrix multiplication to get this. Basically it's 3, you can just do over here 3 and you can do matrix multiplication, but don't want that because it's just complicating. I think so you have problems on that in the coming topics. But over here, the easiest way to analyze and understand is all the tickets that are sold, add this particular row. So what happens is it'll be 155 plus 208 plus 321. Just use your calculator because anyways it's MCQs. Let's take our calculators now. Now what you do is use your brackets and then just type in the first column 155, 208 and 321, and then multiply it with the cost of each ticket. It's 3, right? That is the total amount of revenue generated for selling tickets. But now since it's MCQ, they don't want individual and everything. You just need the final answer. So add this with again a bracket, all the others, 40 plus. Add the gift packs which were sold. So 40 plus 96 plus 131, close the bracket and multiply it with 6. So this is the cost for gift packs, isn't it? So the total revenue generated was $3,654 from this particular fundraiser in 3 days. Now, if you're thinking about columns, if they just ask you, say, what was the revenue generated in day 3 only? So what you need to do is, whatever tickets sold in day 3 only, multiplied with 3, add it with 131 times 6. So the answer, you can see over your final answer will be 3654, and that's it. Okay, these are interesting problems here. You can directly do it in the calculator. I'll show you. We are not going to write any matrices now, but we're just going to write equations. So they want you to find A, B, C. And you can see this is a matrix equal to the other matrix. They have clearly mentioned as well, they're equal to each other. So what happens is each row in this, element, this, is equal to each other over there. What it means is A plus C is equal to 6. Now what about the next one? Minus 1 is equal to B. And phi is equal to phi. Obviously, there's nothing to do in that. It's only constants. But whereas 4 is equal to C minus 3. You can just take it to the other side and solve it up over here directly. Or you can use your calculator. I'll show both the ways. Over here, A will be 6 minus 3. That is 3. B is negative 1. And over here, take it to the other side. C will be 7. Now, there is a way to solve any simple linear equations directly in the calculator. That is, instead of A, like this first element, right? Type it as alpha x, unknown variable. Then type the numbers. Plus 3 equals how much? It's 6. Press shift and solve, and then equal to, that's your answer. Same way for the C. 4 equals, C is unknown variable. Take it as x minus 3, shift and solve, and the answer is 7. And over here, B is equal to negative 1. It's direct. So those are the answers. It's 3 minus 1 and 7. Now we have to organize the information in each table below using a matrix. Now this is very straightforward and silly problems. I mean, silly in the sense there's nothing much in this, okay? All you need to do is write all these numbers in a matrix form like this. That's the answer. Because they didn't ask you to interpret nothing. They just told you to write in a matrix. That's the answer. Even over here, it's the same thing. Just write it in matrix. Now here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 2 columns. And over here there is 5 rows and 4 columns. You don't need to write the titles, no need of writing names or anything. Only the values are written in the matrix. And that's the end of the question 1. I hope this is clear. It's a very basic topic. There's nothing much to, remember or anything. It's just basic stuff of matrices. Just be careful when they ask you to find the revenue for 1 day, 2 days. Be careful what they ask. Read the question properly and do the operations accordingly. The second question is to solve operations with matrices. The operations are pretty simple. All you need to do is add or subtract or multiply. It's basic linear multiplications and stuff. There are a few rules you must remember. Now, if you have, say, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see there are 2 rows over here, R1, R2. And there are 3 columns, C1, C2, C3. Now, there is a dimension of matrix. Each element, belongs to a certain row or a column, right? Now, that is like, for example, the first one. Over here, it is in the first row, first column. So we can write it as A1, 1. Same way, the entire matrix is given certain dimension. It's always written as rows and columns. Now, somehow I always remember this as RC. RC, and always rows, okay, 1, 2, columns, 1, 2, 3. So this is how I remember. When you add and subtract, the rows and columns of both the matrices must be same. It must match. Now here, how many rows are there? It's just 1 and 3 columns. Here also 1 and 3 columns. Now we can perform the addition. Here as well, it is 2 cross 2, 2 cross 2. Here it is 2 cross 3, 2 cross 3. But what about here? It's 1 cross 3, 1 cross 2. It's not possible. This is not possible to be done. So here it is impossible. Basically, it's error. Okay. So that's how we do that. Now, addition and subtraction is very straightforward. Just, add them or subtract them. Over here, 5 minus of minus 2 will be plus 2. It will be 9. Okay, okay, it's 7. Okay, my bad. I thought it's 4. So 5 plus 2 is 7. And 13 plus 18 will be 30 plus 1, 31. And so on. You can just do the others. Now here, minus 8 and minus 6. So it's minus 14. Now I will tell you how to do this in calculator. But never do such problems in calculator, adding, subtracting. They're so simple. You're just going to take more time using the calculator. But anyways, let's see how to do it because it's useful for the other problems. Now, it's a very good habit to just clear your calculator now and then. That is shift 9, 3 equals an AC. Now what you need to do is go to mode and press matrices 6. Now you need to put in the first matrix. Let's do the fourth problem here. I will press matrix A, that is 1. Now what is the dimension over here for this matrix? It's 2 cross 2, isn't it? Now you should see where is 2 cross 2. You have maximum of 3 cross 3 matrix. See over here there are other dimensions as well. So now 2 cross 2 is option number 5. Now you get this. Now if at all you get confused, you're on the selecting of matrix 1 and you want to select 1 cross 3, but you're confused. You think this is 3 cross 1 and you select option 3. It's 3 cross 1. Now you can understand, no, this is wrong. This is 1 cross 3, which is error. So you can go back over here, mode 6, 1, and you can select the other matrix that is 1 cross 3. So this is how, calculator helps you to understand the dimensions as well. Now we will go back over here and select this particular matrix, 2 cross 2, option 5. Now I will put in the values. How you put in the value is, first value is 7, press equal to, it is saved. Minus 12 equal to 15 equals and 4 equal to. Your first matrix is saved. Now matrix A is saved. Press AC. Please don't go back to mode and don't press 6. What happens is it won't be saved. You'll get an error. Once you save in first matrix, that is by mode 6 and selecting the dimensions, you saved one matrix. That's it. Can you see here the matrix mode is on now? Any more, please don't click mode. You need to press shift and 4. Now you need to select the second matrix as well. It's not option 4. No, it doesn't allow you to fill in this. What you need to do is shift 4. You get the matrix options, right? You need to select 1 for dimensions. You need to tell what's the dimensions of the next matrix. So 1 is, now which matrix is it? Matrix A is already filled. Please don't press anything over here. Press number 2 for matrix B. And what are the dimensions? It's 2 cross 2. That is option number 5. Now type in the values 9, 6, 4, minus 9. And then press equal to at the last one and press AC. Now both your matrices are saved. Matrix 1 is saved, matrix 2 is saved. Now let's press shift 4 matrix A minus shift 4 matrix B is option 4. The answer is negative 2, negative 18, 11 and 13. The best part in this is you can do multiplication and anything you want. Say matrix 3 multiplied by matrix 4. You get the answers over here. If you want to say find the inverse of matrix A, shift matrix A inverse is this option and you get the inverse. These are the inverse of your answers. And if you want to find the determinant, shift 4, option number 7 is determinant. Now press shift 4 and matrix A, or you can choose any other matrix as well. The determinant is 208. This is how you can easily solve all the matrix problem using calculator. Now, I wouldn't suggest you for such simple problems to use calculator. It just takes time for you to fill in, So now one more thing. Once you're done with matrices, right, to go back, you can go not shift, mode and 1 to computation mode. Once you go out, you can't use matrix if you press shift and 4. Now to use this, again, you need to go to mode, press option 6 matrix. Let's consider this to be matrix A. You can choose any other thing as well. It's 3 cross 3 matrix. Now type in the values. I will type the values 6, 4, 0, minus 2, 14, minus 8, minus 4, minus 6, and lastly 7. Now once you press all the values, press equal to and then AC. Never go back to the mode. Please don't touch it. Press shift 4. And what is this matrix? It is matrix A. Now multiply this with 3, or you can write 3 multiplied by this. It's absolutely fine. This is the answer. You can see 18, 12, 0, minus 6, 42, minus 24, minus 12, 18, and 21. Yes, it matches. See, even if you do 3 multiplied by shift 4 matrix A, it's the same answer. So don't worry about that. You can rearrange it and write. And same thing over here. It's just minus 6. But the thing about this particular dimension, what is the dimension? It's rows are 3, columns are 4. If you go over here, mode and 6, let's select the matrix B. Here there is no dimension for 4 cross 4 or anything related to 4. So sadly, you cannot do anything if it's a 4 matrix. You know, the dimension is for either row or column. Only maximum until 3 cross 3, you can solve it in your calculators. But here you just have to multiply minus 6 throughout. And don't worry, for say inverses or multiplication, you hardly get 4 cross 4. You never get that. Inverses, you never get it because it'll take forever to solve a 4 cross 4 matrix. It'll be maximum 3 cross 3. And generally for inverses, it's just 2 cross 2. So it is simple. Your calculator can easily solve these problems. Here you have been asked to solve these particular matrices based on the given equations. So now let's take our calculators. Now what I'll do is I'll just clear the calculator and let me start from the beginning. Mode 6 and option 1 for matrix A. This is 2 cross 2, so I'll feed it up 2 cross 2. And mode 6, 1, 2 cross 2 is 5. The values are 6, minus 4, 3, and minus 5. Press AC. Never go back to the mode and 6. Don't go. If you go, it'll be an error. Now what you need to do is shift 4 and you need to save the matrix B as well. That is option number 4. And sorry, I'm wrong over here. You need to go to shift 4 and put in the dimensions of what? Matrix B, option 2. And now it is 5 cross 5, that is option 5. And type the values. It is 8, minus 1, minus 2, and lastly we have 7. And then press AC. Both are saved. Now do this accordingly. 4 times, what is it? Matrix B, that is 4. Minus 2 times matrix A, that is shift 4 and 3. And just press equal to, the answer is over here. Okay, this is it. 20, okay, where is the answer? Here is it. 24 minus 14, 38. So instead of doing all this, you directly get the answer as long as you put the equation properly. So you can try this for all the other matrices. But remember, when if it was given as D, then you wouldn't be able to solve. Why? The dimension doesn't match. This is possible. Even the next. Now look over here. The 10th problem. You're supposed to subtract something with B and something with D. No matter what, you can't do it because the dimensions do not match. It is impossible. It's not possible basically. And over here it's C and B. Absolutely you can do it. So that's the end of the second question. Very simple problems. I would highly suggest you not to use the calculator for silly problems. For equations, okay, it's fine. If you are doubtful that you might make some errors in the steps, then okay, go ahead with the calculator, but double check your values and be careful of the steps when you're using the calculator to solve matrices. Question 3 is multiplying matrices. Now here we need to know a few basic rules about dimensions and how to multiply and everything. Multiplying matrices is very easy in calculator, and since we are just doing the MCQ part, stick to the calculator. Now here first thing is, there are some rules for multiplying. Now you imagine you have a matrix that is A, B, C, D, and you have one more matrix, E, F, G, and H. Now you want to multiply this. First thing, you need to check what are the dimensions. This is 2 cross 2 and this is 2 cross 2. Even other dimensions can be multiplied. That doesn't matter. But the most important thing is the first matrix. Now this is matrix A and B. The first matrix columns must match the number of rows in the second matrix. Why? Because we use a method like this. We have to do like this and we multiply this. That is why the columns over here, how many? 2 columns and 2 rows must match. Now I'll give you another example. If I have A, B, C, D, E, F, and over here G, H, I, J, K, L, can I multiply them by each other? Absolutely, because over here it's 2 cross 3 and over here it's 3 cross 2. These two match. That's why I can multiply this by this. Okay. Now, why I'm telling you this is important. There's one problem in this topic. I guess you need to know this multiplication, basic stuff. So what happens over here is I'll just multiply right side over here. So the first one towards the tail has to be multiplied to the tail of the next matrix in its first row, first column. Sorry. See, now the thing is, this row is being multiplied with this column. Okay, but the column and the rows must match. Because see, this is 1, 2, 1, 2. Now A multiplied with E plus, what about this B and G? You multiply it with each other. That is what happens with the new element. Now when you solve this, you get the answer. What about the next thing? Same row with the next column. So it'll be over here, leave some space, it'll be AF plus BH. Now similarly, you can solve the others. It'll be C and E now. CE plus DG, and lastly we have CF plus BH. Now if you see, there are various similarities. Now you can see over here A was the first one. In the next row it becomes C, but E and E remains, G and G remains. This changes. Whereas over here it's A and C, again F and F, H and H remains same. Now what about this problem over here? It's the same thing. See, A with G. So it'll be AG plus BI plus CK. And this again will be multiplied with the next one. So it'll be AH plus BJ plus CL. My handwriting is a bit problematic, but I hope you understand it's JKL. They're in order. Now next one, D with G. So it's DG plus EI plus FK. It's almost done. And now we have DH plus EJ plus FL. Now this is the answer. But now look over here. What happened? Here we have 2 cross 2 matrix. Over here also we have 2 cross 2 in the final answer, right? If you solve this up, you'll get one over here, one value, 1, 1. Even over here it's 2 cross 2. How is that? The dimensions occur based on what are the dimensions of the original matrices. The resultant dimensions are this and this. What are they? 2 and 2. So it's 2 and 2. Now here also it's 2 and 2. Now imagine you had 4 cross 6 and 6 cross 5. Then this matches. Yes, you can multiply, but the resultant matrix would be having 4 cross 5. This is the answer. So this is the rules you must know. These are the basic rules. I told you other rules also not related to the problem. But now we'll come back to this problem here. If the product of matrix A and B multiplied is given over here, let's write it as AB, has the dimensions 5 cross 8. The dimensions of the final matrix is 5 cross 8. The dimension of A is how much? 5 cross 6. What is this dimension? Now we can easily interpolate it. Now we know this matrix, in order to be multiplied, must match over here. This columns must match with the row. So obviously it's 6 over here. Multiplied with this, and the last over here will be the resultant matrix, right? It is 5. And what is the next one? 8. So it must be 8 over here. So they must match. So this is the answer. It's 6 cross 8. As simple as that. I hope that's clear. Oh, we finally reached this problem. Now, this is one of the problem why I have trust issues with exams. Because we have an MCQ question and we have to do all this. So now this is just for general knowledge, I guess. I mean, not general knowledge, for your exam knowledge, but I'm sure this may not be asked in the exam. Or you just have to write these sentences. I'll tell you what needs to be done. They're asking you to prove all these properties, and mind you there will be four options, so you need to just select the correct option. So I'm not going to go through all this. It's scalar distributive property. I'm sure you might have gone through this in the class. All it says is if you multiply a scalar to, sum of two matrices are there, and you multiply a constant value, say 3, this is equivalent to 3a plus 3b in matrices as well. You can take any two random values and check. You can take some numbers also and you can check. See over here, they are doing the same thing. Ultimately over here, c times a is ca plus cb. That is what you're getting. So this is called scalar distribution property, because when a scalar is multiplied, you can multiply to each of the matrices. Now the next one is matrix distributive property. What it means is this is the same thing, but you have a matrix now. Now this really works even with matrix. A scalar, it's easy, right? It's just number you're multiplying. Imagine, it is very obvious, okay? So it's 3b, yes. Now even if you multiply a matrix, it happens. So you just add this up and then you multiply these matrices. See, matrix multiplication, you do that. And then ultimately you're going to get what you know. You're going to get, say, imagine I write matrix C times A plus B. This is going to be similar to the scalar distributive property. The distributive property works even over here. It will be CA plus CB. This is the rule, second rule. Just remember this. And even over here, you can do the other way around, because if you multiply it from this right side, right, even then it's the same thing. It'll be AB plus BC. I'm sure they're not going to ask to solve any of this, just to choose. And now what about associative property? Associative property also works. So you can multiply, see now for example, AB and then multiply, first you multiply AB and then multiply C, or you multiply A later, first multiply B and C. Absolutely fine, you will get the answers. Now finally, the last property, that is the associative property of scalar multiplication. I'll tell you this one as well. This is the last one. I'll write it over here. See, if you have a scalar multiplication, okay, it's about multiplication, you have A and B. Which do you multiply it with? Do you multiply the scalar with A and then you multiply? It's fine. Or even this works like this. You just, not this. What I'll do is I'll leave A out and I'll multiply the scalar with B and then multiply AB. That's also fine. That also works. Okay, it's not easily visible, but this is the answers. So that also works. Okay, so you can see it's A times CB, and over here it is CA times B. So that's about the properties of multiplication. I hope that's clear. Now moving to the question 48, it's open-ended one. Write two matrices AB such that AB is equal to BA. Now I've seen the answer a while ago. Any matrices which are all the same elements, that works out. But actually the method is, which came to my mind, is inverse. There is a rule that if you have two inverses, like A, and inverse of this, A inverse, will always be equal to identity matrix. So now A inverse, inverse is -1, times A will also be identity matrix. If you multiply two matrices, say AB, and then they are equal to BA, then they are inverse of each other. But then I saw the solution set and I realized, even if all the elements are same, if you have say 1, 1, I did with other values also, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, what happens is you will get the same thing. I'll show you. Let's do it in the calculator now. Let us go to mode, then 6, and let's fill in the matrix 1 as 5 cross 5. You can even go 2 cross 2 I'm selecting, but you can even go 3 cross 3, but you're just gonna put in more values and stuff. Just take 2 cross 2 whenever it's fine. So now I will choose 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, that is saved. I'll press AC, go press shift, 4, And now dimensions of the second matrix, and that is option 5. Now here I will choose 5, 5, 5, 5. Now press AC. Now let me do the multiplication of matrix A multiplied by matrix B. That is option 4. What is the answer? It's 40, 40, 40. Now let me do the same thing with matrix B multiplied with matrix A. It's again 40, 40, 40. So this will work with all the answers which are having the same elements. That's the thing. Now, over here the answer showed up, but how do we solve it? The answers are not over here anywhere in the matrix. I mean, it's not direct. So what happens is, you can see there's a matrix multiplied with other matrix and the solution is given. This means you need to do the first step of multiplication. You need to multiply this with this. It becomes A times 4 plus B times 2 is equal to what? This and this. This is the unit element 10. Now here we can't just solve here. There are two variables. So again, let's multiply this with the next row, and what's the answer? It's 11, right? So now we will have A times 3 plus B times 5 is equal to what? 11. Now we have simultaneous equations. And I'll write this also over here and over here. I'll write the constants first. 4c plus 3d is equal to 20. And we have 2c plus 5d is equal to 29. Now let us take our calculators. No going to matrices or anything. All you need to do is go to mode, equations, that is option 5. And this is how many variables? 2 variables, simultaneous equation, that is option number 1. And now type in the coefficients. This is 4 for A, 2 for B, and 10. Similarly, we have 3 over here, that is 3, 5, and 11. What are the answers? A value is 2, X is the first one, A I considered, B is 1. Same way you can do it over here. Before going to the second one, I just realized that I've written it wrong. Coefficient is 4c times 2d. And then we have 3 over here. I don't know, I was sleeping, I guess. 3c times 5d. Okay, that's huge errors. Please don't do the errors like what I did just now. Please be vigilant when you're typing in the calculator or writing it down. So now let's type in the values. It'll be 4. Over here it is 4. Then next coefficient is 2. Then we have 20. And we have 3, 5, and 29. And what are the answers? 3 and 4. This is how we can easily solve A, B, and C values. So please be careful when you're multiplied accurately. A multiplies with B, B with 2, A with C, B with 5. And remember the answers. The first element, the second element, and down will be the below second row. Because you're taking CD from second row, the answers will be the second row. Second row with first column will be 2, 1, and so on. Okay, we have one last to go. Feels like it's never going to end, right? Writing in math. So use the data on Lisa Leslie found at the beginning of the lesson to explain how matrices can be used in sports statistics. Describe a matrix that represents the total number of points she has scored during her career and an example of a sport in which different point values are used in scoring. The table shows a scoring summary for Lisa Leslie. Over here they have given the values. Now, okay, there's an important thing to know. High scoring the baskets. Okay, the point values for each type of basket can be organized, okay, from here. Now what you need to do is total points scored in the entire season. So I'll just explain what they have given you. They have given you this table. They have told these are the scores by in a regular season in this year. See, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 2005, 6, 8, 9. So this is the player. This player has scored field goals, so many. 3-point field goals, so many. And free throws, so many over here. And the points for each of this type, for field goal is 2 points. Whereas 3-point field goal is 3 points. So 7 into 3. And free throws is 1. I use matrix multiplication to find the total points scored during each season. Now this can be easily done by matrix multiplication, okay? You know what are the points, right? It's 2, 3, and 1. So this must be multiplied with 2, this with 3, and this with 1, and then you get the answers. But here there is one other thing. If you start multiplying like this, it's just not possible. The dimensions do not match, right? So how would you multiply? You need to take p here. So it'll be 1, sorry, it'll be 2, 3, and 1. Now you can multiply them. Now, if you're getting confused with this, one easy way is try multiplying this. It's not possible. There are 4 columns and there's only 1 row. It's not possible. Whereas if you do the other way around, you have 3 rows and 3 columns and 3 rows. Yes, it's possible. So it is basically 1 cross 3, and over here it is 3 cross 1, sorry, 4. So yes, it is possible as long as those two match, but this must be over here before it. The other way, without any multiplication or anything, you can also do it. All you need to do is add them all up over here, these. Add them up and multiply it with 2 because that's 2 points. Add these up. We have done similar problem in the question 1, and these multiply with 3 and add them up. Now here you will get the total points throughout all the seasons. I just realized over here, what did they ask? During each season. If they ask all the points together, you just do this. You know what I just wrote. But now since they have asked each season, what you need to do is multiply this by 3, multiply this by 2, multiply this by 1, add them up. Add them all up. That is your season 2005 season. Same way, multiply this by 2 is this, 3 is this, and 1, and add them up. So this is how we do it for each season. But the simplest way is this multiplied by this, but if you're getting confused, you can even do it in calculator by adding it up. And let's look into the answers. And over here, they have not, multiplied, they have just explained, they just wanted you to know what exactly is being done. So this is how it is. But generally in your exam, you will get direct problems. They're not gonna, tell you to, analyze this and this, that, and all. You will have 4 options. So all you need to do is multiply. So this problem can be done by multiplication, by matrix P multiplied with the B, or just multiply over here directly. The field goal is 2 points, 3 point is 3 points, and lastly free throw is 1 point. Add them up for each season. If you want the total, as I told you just a while ago, everything must be added, multiplied with 2, 3, and 1. So that's the end of this topic. A lengthy one. Stick to the questions which are pretty straightforward. They might ask you simple ones. So understand how to use the matrix multiplication calculator, just the multiplication of rows and columns, and then you can easily solve these problems. The question 4 is to solve systems of equation using Cramer's rule. Now, a first real world problem over here is to find area. You can see the archaeologists found whale bones at these coordinates. If the units of the coordinates are meters, find the area of the triangle formed by these finds. So now if you plot these coordinates, you can see it's at 0, x is 0, and y is 3 over here somewhere, and then 4, x is 4, 7, 5, 9. That's very up. And now if you see, it'll be forming a triangle, isn't it? You need to find, from this coordinates, you should find the area. The formula is very, very simple. All you need to do is, area can be given as half of determinants of the first coordinate. I'm going to write x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. All you write is over here, x1, y1, 1. x2, y2, 1 again over here, and lastly x3, y3, 1. This is the formula for area of coordinates using matrices. Now what you need to do is over here, half times determinant of what? It is 0, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1, and lastly we have 5, 9, 1. So this is it. Now we can directly put it in the calculator and solve. No need of finding any determinants or anything. So let's use the matrix mode, that is mode 6, and let's fill in this as matrix 1, and this is 3 cross 3. So let's type it out. 0, 3, 1, 4, 7, 1, and lastly we have 5, 9, 1. Be careful when you substitute. Double check before going ahead, and once after all the values are correct, press AC. Now it's saved. Now I will just type it out. 0.5 half. Okay, now the thing is, whenever you are in matrix mode, your fraction symbol doesn't work. This is 1 divided by 2. Or you can just write 0.5. It's the same thing. Multiply it with what? The determinant, shift 4. What is determinant? Option 7 of what? Of matrix A. That is again shift 4 and option 3. So this must be the answer. It is 2. So the final answer must be 2. And since it's in meters, it's meter squared. Determinant is a single value. You won't get a matrix. It will be a value. Determinant over here is 4. Now if I just remove this, just the determinant is 4, multiplied with half, that will be 2 meters squared. And the Cramer's rule, solving equations, over here you do not need to do the Cramer's rule. All you can do is system of equations, that is mode, phi, that is equations, and these are 3 variable equations, that's option number 2. And now just type in the values, but be careful here. The standard form, if you just go over here itself, mode phi, before clicking, the standard form is given. I'll write the standard form. It is A plus B plus, okay, it's generally written as ABC or XY, it's fine, plus C is equal to constant. We generally write it as X, Y, Z. Now since over here ABC are given, it's fine. Otherwise, this is constant value, okay? This is the number. X, Y, Z equals a constant value. Now what is this? Is it in the same form? You have 6 minus 7b, but there is no c, put a 0 over there. Let's directly put in the values. Option 2. Here we have 6, then we have minus 7, but there is no c value. That means it's 0. There is no variable c. Then directly write d. It should be right of the equal to. It's anyways in the right side of equal to minus 55. Let's go next. We have 2, 4 and minus 3. So 2, 4, minus 3 and then we have 35 over here. And then lastly we have minus 5, sorry for that, minus 5, minus 3 and 7, and the constant is minus 37. Now press equal to, it will give you the value of the first variable. Now this will take it as x, y, z. This is the a, minus 1, 7 and minus 3. That's it. You can do any problem in this directly. Now these are all directly substitution, you'll get the answers. There is no trick questions over here. Sometimes what happens is, say this is over here, z value is 0, y value is 0 and x value is 0. You should add 0, 0, 0. Now what happens is, you will get say 3a minus 5b minus 9c minus 17 equals 0. So this is a bit tricky. Sometimes students forget to take this minus 7 to the other side. So always remember the constants are to the right. Okay? Only the variables are to the left. And then you need to solve it up. That's how we do it. And if you solve it up, you should get these answers. Please do it by yourselves. Now this one looks weird. Let's just try that out. 7 over here in the calculator, you can just press AC. 7, 8, 9, and it's minus 149, minus 149, and then we have minus 6, 7, minus 5 and 54, 4, 5, minus 2 and minus 44. The values are, yes, those are the correct answers. Okay, so that's how we do it. If you do it using Cramer's rule, it's going to take a long time, but since you have this is the MCQ part, just do the shortcut methods. And here again, we have to find the area. Marwan wants to build a triangular flower garden. To find the area, the coordinates are given. The formula is very simple. Area is half determinant of minus 1, 7, 1, 2, 6, 1, 4, minus 3, 1. Now here you need to again go to mode 6, type in this as the matrix 1. Now I'll choose 3 cross 3, that's option 1. Type the values of this matrix. Whatever values are over here, you just have to type it out. 1, 7, 1, 2, 6, 1, 4, minus 3, and lastly we have 1. Now save it. That is by pressing AC. Now all you need to do is type this out. 0.5 multiplied with the determinant shift 4 and 7 of what? Shift 4 and matrix A. The answer is, now it's negative 12.5. So don't worry about the sign, doesn't matter the sign, whatever you get, the value is only considered. The answer is 12.5 in meters squared. That's how you can solve it. Ignore the sign, take the value, that's the area. And that's the end of this question. I hope this is clear. Please use your calculator equation mode to solve Cramer's rule, where it's very easy. But for the area problem, do solve with the matrix, use the formula and easily solve it in calculator. The question 5 is solving systems of equations using inverses of matrices. But this question is more like, problems, word problems. You need to read and understand what they want. And it's a reasoning type of problems. Let's read this. Asma and Amna are setting up matrix equations for the system of 5x plus 7y equals 19 and 3y plus 4x equals 10. Either of them is correct. Explain your reasoning. First, let's just solve it up, okay? Let's set it out like this. Equation 5x plus 7y equals 19. Then we need to write x first. Always the x variables are first and then the y variables equals 10. Now let's write them in matrix form. It'll be 5, 4, 7, 3 and x and y. And what are they equal to? 19 and 10. Now who has written it like, see, this is wrong. Why? She has written 3 first and then 4. This is wrong. Amna must be correct then. Yes, this is correct. That's it. Why? Because the variable x and y has been swapped with by Asma. Because she put 3 for x in the second equation instead of 4. That's the answer. Describe what matrix equation with infinite solutions look like. You need to write a matrix equation for infinite solutions. First, write two equations which have infinite solution. That means they are the same equation, right? Imagine you have 2x plus 3y equals 7. This must be the same equation, because if the same equations, that means they are overlapping and it's infinite. You can write 2x plus 3y equals 7, or what you can do is multiple of this. 4x plus 6y equals 14. Now they are all multiplied by 2, but still if you graph them, if you graph them, it'll be negative slope. It'll be same, So that's the thing. These two are an example. Now if you want to write it in matrix form, 2, 3, 4, 6 over here, x, y, 7, 14. You will have infinite solutions over here. So the system would have to consist two equations that are same, or one equation that's multiple of other. Say this is multiple, 2 times multiple. So that's the answer. Determine whether the following statement is always, sometimes, or never true. Explain your reasoning. A squared matrix has a multiplicative inverse. Yes, it has, and it doesn't have also, right? Now, what is inverse matrix? So if you know the formula, it's a 1 by determinant of matrix A, okay? Then the formula over here, it'll be B, A, B, C, D. It'll be D over here, sign minus over here, and A. This is the formula. Now this is the determinant A. Now if this is if determinant is 0, then inverse doesn't exist, right? So what happens is, you can't tell it's always or never. This is wrong. It's sometimes. So that's the thing. Why? Because if at all you get a determinant of a matrix to be equal to 0, then you do not have a multiplicative inverse. Inverse exists only when the determinant is not equal to 0. So answer is sometimes. A square matrix has a multiplicative inverse if its determinant does not equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, it doesn't have a matrix. That's all. Write a matrix equation that does not have a solution. Now this is same slope, same variables, but you should have a different intercept. Say for example, parallel lines like this, same slope and everything, but your intercept is different. So I'll write an equation 2x plus 4y equals 5. Same thing, 2x plus 4y is equal to 7. Now you can see x and y variables are same. It's just the slope, the intercept that varies. So they are parallel lines basically. So such lines will never have a solution. It's no solution. Now over here we can analyze this as well. Sample answer, let's write them. 2x plus 3y equals 9, and we have 4x plus 6y equals 10. Now this can be removed out by 2, or you can multiply this by 2, it's easier. It'll be 4x plus 6y is equal to 18. Can you see this? First term, second term is same, only this is different, so they are parallel lines. And any matrix that has determinant equal to 0, such as over here. Why? Because then it does not exist, right? Inverse. Then when would you prefer to solve a system of equation using algebraic methods, and when would you prefer to use matrices? To be very honest, all the time just use algebraic method because you're a scientific calculator. But in reality, right, algebraic calculations of three equations, say now you have x plus 2y is equal to z, something like this, is equal to 3, and then x plus 2z is equal to 5, and x plus 5y. Now I just wrote 3 dimension, but if you have more bigger ones, right, say 4 dimension, a b c d, 4 variables, then it's very hard to do it, algebraically, because it's very hard to find which is which. It takes a long time. You need to write this in terms of, see, this and this can be written in terms of one variable x, and then substitute over here, long time. But since you have scientific calculator, it's very simple. But otherwise, if it's very difficult problem, you use matrices. It'll be easier to analyze. You can write the coefficient matrix, variables, the answers, and then easily solve it up. Whereas if it's simple problems, you can go with algebraic method. Some systems with 2 variables, yeah, 2 variables are very simple. Why? Because now imagine you have 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, and 5x minus 6y is equal to 7. This is very easy to solve. You just have to multiply. 2 variables are simple to solve. Whereas 3 by 3 and all, it gets complicated. Matrices is easy to solve in that. And that's the end of this topic. So it was just reasoning and understanding questions. I'm not exactly sure how will they ask you for your exam, but just go through all the problems and reason them and understand them. So you might have, say, problems like this, and you might have 4 different equations which do not have a solution, whichever are parallel lines. So such answers might be asked. So please do understand the reasoning behind these problems. Question 6 is about parabolas. Here we need to write the given equation in standard form of parabola, and then its vertex, focus, axis of symmetry, and directrix. Now here there are some details of parabola. Now the most important thing is writing the standard form. The given equation must be written like this so you understand what the parabola means exactly. So now here, how do you understand which is vertical or horizontal? That depends on this particular equation, isn't it? Say for a parabola, y is equal to x square is opening upwards, y is equal to minus x square is downwards, whereas x is equal to y square is opening to the right, x is equal to minus y square is opening to the left. That's how, isn't it? So now it's basically like crossed. But over here you can see squared is first. I like to write the formulas like this. 4p, the standard form, 4p into y minus k, this is y, equals x square, x minus h, the whole square. I write it like this. It's very easy for me to understand this. So this is also fine. I've just rearranged these terms. Now from this, whatever is there for h and k, that is the vertex. H is with respect to whatever is for x-axis, and k is along the y-axis. So that is the vertex. Now, if it is like this, then it is either upwards or downwards. How do you know which is up and which is down? Look at this. If you have positive over here, it's upwards. If it's minus, it's downwards. Whatever is before 4p. So if you have negative 2p, then it's downwards. Now then, if at all we know the orientation, then you need to know this is the vertex, right? The focus will be along the same x-axis. See, x point is the same. It'll be somewhere inside over here or over here. So the x point does not change. What you have to do is you have to find what is the p-value. Once you find the p-value, add it to the k-value. See, h and k is vertex, right? H will be the same, but k plus p is the foci point. These are the very important things to find out. Then the axis of symmetry is basically which axis is it symmetrical. This is along the x is equal to this point, right? X is equal to whichever point. It's reflected along the y-axis, but you write as x is equal to what point. So what is the point over here? Whatever is their h. And then because that point will be the same constant point right throughout, and then over here directrix. See, now if you're thinking x is equal to 2, isn't it this along x-axis? No, x is equal to 2 means it's symmetrical along y-axis itself. This is x is equal to 2, it's the y-axis symmetrical itself, okay? But the value is given as x is equal to something. And lastly, directrix. Over here you need to memorize this. Whatever is the k value with respect to y, see, y value k minus p. Here it is not k, it is h. See the h value, okay, minus p. See, you how do you find foci? K plus p, isn't it? So you find k foci by k plus p. Directrix will be on the other side, it will be minus. So that's it. So now with this information we can start solving the problems. Let's go ahead. This is the first problem. Now here what you need to do is just rearrange and write it in the standard form. Looking at this, I know this is of y is equal to x squared. Why? Because y is power 1, x is power 2. So what is the standard form? I like to write like this. It will be 4p first, and now it is y minus k, the k only. And over here it will be x minus h, the whole square. This is the standard form. Now here, how do I write this? So let me solve y alone, this x square alone. Let me try to, take all the constants to one side. That's the first thing. Let me take this constant to the other side. It'll be x squared is equal to 8y. Now here when you take this minus to the other side, it becomes plus 17. So add 1 will be 40 plus 16. It is 56 here. Now what you can do is, you can just see, now we are not changing signs or anything. Don't think you're changing sign. I'm just writing this part first. 8y plus 56 is equal to x squared. Isn't x squared is equal to this? I'm just rearranging and writing. You can continue like this itself. That's also fine. I'll just write this as first. So now y is equal to x squared. Now when I look at it, I can easily understand, okay, this is something like this. And this all positive, so I know it's opening upwards. Now here, the formula clearly states y as a coefficient of 1. You can't have anything else. So let's remove that 8 outside. Just take 8 out. Whatever is the number must be removed out. Now what happens? 56 also must be divided by 8 because that will be grouped with y. 8, 5, 6, 7 times, right? So 7 times 56 is equal to x squared. Now can you compare this? Absolutely. So you can see this value over here is k. But this is plus k, it will be minus k now, minus 7, sorry, k. H is what? 0. There's nothing. Let's just write this term. I'll write it in some other color. It's now 4p y minus k is equal to x minus h the whole square. Now what are the things? This is equal to this and this needs to be equated. And over here there is nothing. This is basically 0. Now for the first problem, I'll just do equation and I'll show you. 8 is equal to 4p. So what is p value? Divide both the sides by 4, you will have 2 is equal to p. That is the p value. Now what about k? 7 is equal to minus k, so k can be equal to minus 7. Take the other side. Now what about this? H is equal to 0. There is nothing. So these are the values. Now if you remember the vertex 1, what is the vertex formula? Vertex, it was h and k. So what is h and k now? H is 0, k is 7. It's minus 7, sorry. So that is the first value. Then we had what? Focus. What is focus? Now here, which orientation is it? See, now this over here is the vertex. That means focus will be somewhere over here. H, x value will be the same, k plus p. This is the focus. Now here what you do, 0, what is p value? It is 2. So minus 7 plus 2, I'll write it directly. Minus 7 plus 2 will be minus 5. So if this is, say, minus 7, this is minus 5. That is the focus. And what next? Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Now this was what? Axis of symmetry is basically this h value. H is equal to what? H is over here 0. Axis of symmetry is 0. Then last we had directrix. Directrix. Now what was directrix? If you remember the foci formula, it is just k minus p. So what is it? K value is minus 7, minus 2 would be minus 9. So these are the answers, guys. Let's just look into it. So you can see this is the standard form we also got. We have just written the other way around. You can write this way also, it's fine. And then here, first is vertex 0, minus 7, 0, minus 5. Now directrix was minus 9, and what was the axis of symmetry? It's 0. With this information, you can graph. You can do this graphing as well, or what you can do is you can just graph it with the table method. See, once you get the standard form, where is the standard form? Over here, right? Okay, this is going to be a little confusing, but the better way to graph it is, I'll show you. You know the vertex, right? What is vertex? 0 and minus 7. See, now this is in the MCQ part. So if at all you are graphing, you can just check the values. You don't need to graph it entirely. It's not writing. But from the vertex, just check where is vertex. Is it 0, minus 7? Yes. Then well and good. Where is foci? Okay. Now what about the axis of symmetry? Yes, it's on 0. One more way to easily check whether this graph is true or false, I'll show you now in your calculator. Now this equation is there, right? You can type it out as it is. Sorry, not as it is. You should just choose a x value. I'll choose x as 0, and now 0 squared minus 17 is equal to 8. Consider this as the variable x plus 39. Now whatever you get as shift and solve equal to, the answer must match. At 0, is it minus 7? Yes. Now let's change it to 1. So over here, instead of 0, put 1 square and press shift and solve. And now what is the answer? Minus 6.875. Yeah, because see, now this is minus 8. This is minus 6. It's about that because this is 7 over here. Yeah, that's true. Now let's go for, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Here it will be 4 square. Okay, now I can't press equal to. I need to press shift and solve. Only then I'll get the answer. It's minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 5. Okay, I was taking the axis altogether wrong. X is 4 is over here. Okay, so now the 1, yeah, this is more like it. See over here, this is 7. This was 6.8. Yes, that's correct, you know. Now this was not correct. It's over here. 1. See, now 4 is over here. Is it 5? Yes, this is minus 6 between minus 4. Yes, that's correct. So this is how you can test some random points and easily eliminate the wrong graph and select the correct one. So that you can do. Otherwise, you can just, you know, find it from here as well. These points match the correct graph. I hope this is clear. Let's do one more over here now because this is having y squared. Now, when I look at this, I first write the formula. It is C. 4p always comes naturally. Right side, left side must be x now because y squared is on the right side. But I won't write y squared. I'll write y minus k the whole square. And over here, x minus h only. Now, let me take all the numbers to one side and simplify. So I'll take this to the other side. It'll be y squared is equal to minus 8x. Minus and minus, it becomes 56 over here, minus 56. Now what I'll do is I'll take the minus out and I'll take 8 out. It'll be x minus, again it's 7. Now I'll rearrange it and write minus 8 into x minus 7 is equal to y squared. See, this is something I like to write, so that's why I'm writing, because this gives me a sense that x is equal to y squared. So I can easily understand now minus is there, so the graph is something like this. Now then, what is the standard form? It is 4p into x minus h is equal to y minus k the whole square. Now from here, what is h is equal to? H is equal to 7 What is k is equal to 0. Now here you can just equate this and solve, or you can directly, let me write it, minus 8 is equal to 4p. So divide both the sides by 4, you will get minus 2 as p. So p is equal to minus 2. Now with this information we have done, right, vertex, all that. Now let me do it again. Vertex will be what? H comma k. So this is equal to h is 7 and k is 0. Now what about the other things? Focus. Focus point now, is it h, which is constant? Now look over here. Now the x value varies, the k value is constant here. So here what you need to do is h plus p comma k. It's not k plus. 1 minute. Yes, this is correct. Even I just got confused. Now this changes. So what we will have to do is h minus p. So what is h? 7. What is p? Minus 2. So h plus p will be 7 plus of minus 2. It will be 5 over here. 5 comma 0. This is not an accurate graph, but just a rough one. If you want to do it really properly, you can draw it like, say, like this, and then mark the points 7, 5 and everything. The rough sketch is more than enough. Now what next? There is directrix. Directrix will be over here. See, this we did h plus p, right? Now just do h minus p. What is the value? So h is over here 7. Minus of minus 2, it will be 9. And then axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry, that will be basically k value over here. K is equal to 0. So these are your answers, and then you can easily graph it up. So you can see it's okay, now I have forgotten to write minus. Now there is a major mistake, guys. I really apologize for that. I have removed minus 8. Let me keep this. I thought of removing out, editing this part, but it's a good mistake that I did. You also might do this in the exam. So remember, when I removed the minus 8 out, I kept this positive, which is wrong. This is negative. That's positive, right? I wrote it wrong. So the entire equation was basically wrong. It's plus, and the h value is minus. Now here this is minus. And what happens over here? H plus p, minus and minus will be minus 7 minus 9 here. And over here it will be minus 5. So these are the answers. You see, just by a simple mistake, I got the entire wrong answers. Now you can see this is the correct answers: minus 7, 0, minus 9, 0, minus 5, and lastly it's k. The method was all right, but one simple, minus, which I forgot to remove, made it all wrong. And that's just one mistake, and if you had these wrong answers or the options, you would have selected that. So be careful, double check, and then, finalize the answers. So this is the graph. And this is again the same type. You can easily do it by yourselves, guys. Please try it by yourself. And over here, the worked out solutions are there. And even over here. Okay, now here, I can see there's x squared and another x. See, till now, what happened? We had only x squared and y. But now here, this is a problem. Here, you need to do the completing the square method. Let's try it now. What you need to see is which is having power 1 and which is having power 2. So group all the power 2 at one side and power 1s at one side. So let us leave this as it is, no need of changing. But what I'll do is all the numbers, I'll bring it over here for now. This number, I'll bring it over here. It'll be minus 12y plus 10, and this becomes minus 14. It'll be minus 4. I'll directly write it because minus 14 plus 10 is minus 4 is equal to x squared minus 4x. Now there are different methods of completing the square. What I feel is now the method which I tell you is one of the easiest and the shortcut method. Let us leave this for now. 12y minus 4 is equal to, whenever you're completing the square, before we do this, I'll give you another example. Imagine you have like this, plus 8. That's 8x, sorry. Completing the square means you need to get this as whole square. How can you get this terms, only two terms, as whole square? Because you don't know any identity directly, right? There is no formula for whole square that just gives you these two terms. There is one more term over here. So what you do is, we will add that later on. Just look at this first term and the second term. There must be power 2, power 1. This must have only coefficient 1. If there's any other number you have to, you can't do this. You have to divide throughout by numbers and then do it. So now here what you do is, this is x squared, just write as x. This sign is plus, write plus. Whatever is this number, don't write x, only this number half. That is 8 divided by 2 is 4, half of that number. Now it's not over. This much you have written, right? Write minus this number, whatever is this number, squared. This minus is no matter what. Even if it is plus or minus here, this will only be minus. Now another example, x squared minus 6. Sorry, this is x. So what you have to do is x minus 6 by 2 is 3, the whole square minus 3 squared. This is it. Now let's do it over here. What happens? X minus 4 by 2 is 2, the whole square minus, what is this number? 2 squared. This is it. So now we have minus 12y minus 4 is equal to, what is this? X minus 2 the whole square minus 4. Minus 4 cancels out. You can take it to other side. It will become 0. Now you're remaining with 12y is equal to x minus 2 the whole square. Now this is belonging to which equation? This belongs to y is equal to x squared. So what you need to do is 4p into y minus k is equal to, over here it will be x minus h the whole square. So this is the formula, and now we have done it, right? This is minus 12, 4. Over here k is 0. What is h value? H is positive 2. And then you can write all the vertex formula, vertex form, other forms. See here, it should be minus 12. See, it's minus 12 by, and over here, minus 2, it's the same thing. So this is how we do it. And then we have done this part, right? So the same thing, just do it again. Now what about this term? Here this is again straightforward, but let me do another completing the square method. This is having 2x. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll take this minus 12 to the other side. It will become positive 12y minus 33 is equal to x squared minus 6x. Then 12y minus 33 is equal to, over here what you do is x minus 3 the whole square minus 9. It's better to write 3 square only, or you can write 9. So this is it. Now take this to the other side. It will be 12y minus 33. This minus becomes plus. 3 square is 9 is equal to x minus 3 the whole square. Now what happens over here? It is minus 24, right? 9, yeah. And your 12y is equal to x minus 3 the whole square. Take 12 common out over here. You're remaining with y minus 2 is equal to x minus 3 the whole square. Now write the standard form. Which form does it belong to? Just now we wrote this, right? 4py minus k. It's not h. X is with h. Y is with k. K is with y. H is with k. H is with x. Okay, I just got confused. X minus, over here, h the whole square. That's the answer. The standard form is 12y minus 2 equals x minus 3 the whole square. I hope that you're finding this method easier. See, that's the correct answer. And you can graph it up and get the vertex. This we have done, right? The same method is done. Okay, now again you have to complete the square over here as well. You will get this answer. See, now they're using some very long method to complete the square. I will do this one as well because it is y and x. So first take the x to the other side. It will be 20x positive minus 72 is equal to, here you have 2y squared minus 16y. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky. What happens is you have a coefficient over here, right? So what do you do in such case? Remove the 2 outside. Now what happens? You're remaining with y squared minus 8y only. Now you can apply completing the square method over here. See, this 2 will remain over here. Now inside over here you should do y minus 8 divided by 2 is 4. The whole square minus 4 square. But remember, this is multiplied to it. This is multiplied to it. There is one way you can avoid it. See, now it's 20x minus 72, right? Divide both the sides by 2, this will go. That is one thing. But imagine over here your odd numbers, say you're 21 or something. You were not able to divide. Then what you do is, I will show both the methods, okay? First, I will do this multiplication by distributive. Here, 20x minus 72 remains left side. This 2 is multiplied to this term and this term separately. It will be 2 into y minus 4 the whole square minus 2 multiplied by 4 square is 16 times 2 is minus 32. You can do it in calculator. 2 times 4 square. And now you can simplify, take this to the other side, it will be 20x minus 72 minus 32, it will be 40 is equal to 2y minus 4 the whole square. This is the whole square. Now here what you can do is take 20 common out. It will be x minus 2 is equal to 2 times y minus 4 the whole square. Now divide both the sides by 2, or this, take it to the other side. It will be 10 into x minus 2 is equal to y minus 4 the whole square. You can see this is one method. See, that's the same answer, right and left. There is one more method which I'll show you now. This is one thing, but I would prefer the another method, which I would generally do. But I did both the methods because you might tend to multiply it. That's the reason. The other method is here 20. Okay, first thing, what is this number here? 2, right? I can just divide all by 2. See, left side, there is this divided by 2, this divided by 2, this divided by 2. Here 2 cancels. So what is this? It is 10x minus, what is 35, 36. 72 divided by 2 is 36 is equal to y minus 4 the whole square minus 16. 4 square is 16 because this 2 is gone. Now take the 16 to the other side. It will be 10x minus 36 plus 16 will be minus 20 is equal to y minus 4 the whole square. And now take 10 common out. It will be 10 into x minus 2 is equal to y minus 4 the whole square. This is how we can solve this. So these are all the different types of getting into standard form. I would personally do this method. Just divide both the sides by 2. It'll be easier. And then you can easily find the vertex, foci, directrix, and the graph. And here now these are similar problems. Please try solving them by yourselves. Over here there is no coefficient, so it's much easier. When there is coefficient, you have to be a little careful. Even over here there is no coefficients, and that's the answer. Even over here there is coefficient. So let me do this one, last one. What happens is I'll take this 8y to the other side. It will be minus 8y minus 34 is equal to 2 common out only for these two terms, okay? X squared plus 10x. Now what? I will have to write this in completing the square method. That will be x plus phi the whole square minus phi squared. This is the thing. Over here what we have? 8y minus 34. But what I'll do over here is I'll just divide everything by 2 over here throughout. 2, 2, 2. So it's going to be minus 4y minus 17 is equal to, this cancels, x plus phi the whole square minus 25. And now take this 25 to the other side, becomes plus, and you will have 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'll be minus 4y plus 8 is equal to x plus phi the whole square. This side must be in square. Now you can remove minus 4 common out. It will be minus 4 outside because this must be positive y only. Minus 2 is equal to x plus phi the whole square. That's the final answer. You can check over here. Yes, absolutely, this is the correct answer. See, you can see it's just in 5 steps rather than all these things. You can do it so easily. I hope this has been helpful, and these are the graphs and the other answers. And that is the end of question 6. Please stick to the completing the square method. Be careful with that. Otherwise, our main goal is just to get into standard form and find the vertex, foci, directrix, and axis of symmetry, and then to graph the equation. Question 7 is from lesson 8.2, ellipses and circles. Here we need to find the eccentricity of ellipses. Here, this is the standard form of ellipses. Now, the most important differentiation between these two is horizontal orientation, vertical orientation. You can see when it's horizontally oriented, it will be along the x-axis. And x-axis is the major axis, that is denoted by a square. Whereas the minor axis is by b square. Here, it's the other way around. Since it's vertically, the y-axis is the major axis. You can see it's y minus k divided by the major axis square. Now, major axis is 2a. A value will be half. From this to this is a. We write a square in the standard form. Here, see x minus h whole square divided by a square. Then there is another important formula, relationship between ABC. It is given by Pythagoras theorem. Now what happens is a is the biggest side. So when you add b square and c square, that will be equal to a square from Pythagoras theorem. This is the hypotenuse. So now if you take b to the other side, it becomes minus b square, and this is the formula for finding c. Now with this basic information, we can easily solve all these problems. They are all the same. Now first thing, looking over here, what is a value? A is not 72, a square is 72. So what will be the a value? It will be root of 72. What about b square? 54. b is equal to square root 54. What about c? Square root a square minus b square. This is another important thing. Minus b square. Now when you're substituting, don't substitute root 72 the whole square. You know a square value is 72, do it directly. And 54, here you go. But this is just finding ABC. What do we have to find is eccentricity of the ellipse, which is given by E is equal to C divided by A. This is the reason why we find the value of C. So now let's find C value and substitute over here. And then we have a value that is square root 72, and that will give us the answer. We need to use our calculators now. Square root 72 minus 54 over here is equal to 3 root 2. See, you can take the decimal point as well, but it's better to take the exact value. You'll get the exact answer, isn't it? Over here also it's 3 root 2. So now this divided by root 72 gives us the answer, that is half. So you can see over here they have taken decimal value, still you're going to get the same answer, no worries, but here you get the exact value of half. Same way you can do these problems by yourselves. Now what is the a value? Bigger value is a, so a square is 40, b square is 12, a is equal to root 40, b is equal to root 12, c value will be equal to square root of a square minus b square. So c is square root of 40 minus 12. So we can directly do it. Square root of 40 minus 12, that's square root 28. And over here we can write 2 root 7. And now what is e value? C by a, that is 2 root 7 divided by root of 40. This is 40. And that will be the answer. Where this divided by root 40 will give you the answer. That is 0.84 you can consider. Okay, they have taken 837, 3 decimals, so that's the answer. So that's how. Please do try solving all these problems by yourselves. Over here, a square value is 57 and b square is 14. And then the same method, that's it. So other problems are also similar. Let me just check if there's any other difficult problem. No, they are just the same. You know, all the worked out solutions are there. We'll just quickly solve this one. A square is 38. A is equal to root 38. What about b square is 13. B is root 13. C is square root a square minus b square. So c is equal to square root 38 minus 13. So c is basically over here. You do not need to even put this in the calculator. You can just do this, right? 35 will be 25. Square root 25, that's 5. I mean, even directly this value itself you can put in the calculator. So here we will do it as phi root of 38, and that is the answer. It is 0.811. And please do solve the others. Simple problems, straightforward problems. There's no difference in this. Very easy topic. And that is the end of question 7. Question 8 is about limits. It's estimating limits graphically. Though it's a simple problem, many students tend to get confused here. So now let us solve this in detail. Now first of all, let's understand what are these writings. If we have limit x approaches or tends to, you can use anything, x tends to 0 or approaches 0, f of x. I have not written the sign, I'll write it in a minute. What does this mean? Limit is what, this is the function, this is the given function f of x graph, at which point of x is 0. So if you know, always 0 is the y-axis, 1 2 3 and so on, right? Over here it will be -1 -2 -3. This is it. So where exactly is 0? This line, isn't it? So you need to focus on this line here. Now if at all you have been given a sign here as a minus or plus, minus is always the left side. This is 0, right? Left side, minus. What is the graph over here? It is approaching where? It is relating to -1. That's it. The function over here is at -1. Whereas, what is the limit as x tends to 0 positive f of x? It's very simple. 0 is over here. Look at the right side. This is the function over here. Where is it touching? Don't think it's a hole or a point. Doesn't matter. Just see the value. It's 2, 4. It's at 4. So over here, the first answer was -1. The second answer is 4. I hope this much is clear. So you just see this point. X is 0. Don't see the sign. See where is 0? It's over here, right? Okay, if it was say 2, you go over here. If it was -3, then you see over here this line. Simple as that. Then you see whether it's positive or negative. If it's negative, left side, positive is the right side. Positive axis, negative x-axis, right? That's it. Now another important thing. If there are 2 points, 2 limits on 0 plus and minus is not the same point, right? Over here, you have 4 and -1. So now when you look at this value without any sign, limit as x tends to 0 does not exist. DNE means does not exist. Why? In order, there is a rule, in order for limit as x tends to anything, I'll write 0 now, to exist, f of x to exist, it must be, then there must be limit x as tends to 0 from the left side must be equal to limit as f of x tends to the right side. This is very important. Limits on the negative and positive must be equal, only then this exists. Otherwise, if it does not exist, this is DNE. I mean, if they're not equal, they're DNE. So that's the thing. So over here, does it exist? At this point, we have positive 4. So it's 4 -1. There are 2 separate answers. Positive, this is -1 at negative side. Negative means left side of the graph. -1, positive 4, and it is DNE. Now let's look at 2. Where is 2? This is the graph over here. Yeah, sorry for my bad line. This is the point. Okay, left of, what is the value over here? It's positive 1. Over here there is 4, 6 over here. Again, it does not exist at 2. But they have not asked at 2, but you just write from the left side, it is positive 1. From the right side, it is 6. They're not the same. If they had asked you the limit as x approaches to f of x, you should tell it does not exist. Let us consider a point, say, over here. See, this one is good, -2. What about this point? Let me draw over here a line. If x as approaches -2 from the left side, limit x as it approaches -2 from the left side, and let's see the limit as it approaches from the right side. This is the function f of x. Let's see. It's not asked, but let's do it. So from the left side, where is it touching? It's at 4. From the right side, see, left graph is touching at 4, right graph is also converging at 4. So what is the limit as x tends to 2 or approaches 2? No sign over here. That means Look at both these values. It's 4. So yes, the answer is also 4. If this was different values, it does not exist. But it's the same values, right? 4 and 4, it exists. So this is how we solve the problems. And let's look at the last one, which we did not do. That is limit of x tends to 1. That is over here, positive 1. So this is the point. Let's look at the left side. What is the left side approaching the same value? Right side also approaching the same value. So the answer is 2.5. So here it's 2.5 or 5 by 2. So those are the answers. The first one was -1, 4, and over here does not exist. Again, we had 1 and 6, yes. And lastly, we have 2.5. These are the answers. Just be careful with how the function is at the left side, right side. If they're equal, then it exists. But if there are two separate points on the same x value, x of 0, two different values, means does not exist. So this is an easy one. So just take time, analyze it thoroughly, and then solve the problems. In question 9, we will evaluate the limits algebraically. That means in writing. Now here I will teach you a shortcut method. I'm sure you know the long cut method of factoring this, that, and then applying the limits. But I'll teach you a shortcut method. Just in a scientific calculator, you can solve them just by some clicks. Here now, we need to type this particular equation as it is with its variable x itself. So you need to write 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. Just ignore the left part, limit and all, just ignore it for a minute. And over here we have x minus 4. Now, there is a calculate symbol, isn't it? Just press calculate. The problem is if you press 4 and press equal to, you get math error. Why? Because this becomes 0 in the denominator and it's undefined value. It's infinity. Because 4 minus 4 is 0. So you should not do that. So what basically is limits? Limit means you're approaching 4. That means you're going very close to 4, but not exactly 4. That means we know at that particular 4 point, right, in the graph, over here, it's undefined. Limit is undefined. But we need to know what exactly is happening towards 4. Where is it approaching? There is a hole over here, okay? But we need to know where exactly it's approaching. So what we do over here is, we have to do two things. First of all, see now I'll just draw the graph again. At 4, one thing is, a graph is going something like this at one point, and then there's a jump and one more. That means the limit does not exist. It's undefined, right? It does not exist, sorry, DNE. Or otherwise, it's going something like this and there's a hole and it's moving away. So both points are approaching towards the same point. So there is the answer. So now what we need to do is, in this calculator, press calc, don't go to 4, but go very close to 4. That is 3.99999. And check what's the answer. It's 10.9999. That means almost 11. If you just increase the nines over here, you'll just get 11 itself. See? But don't finish it right now. Most probably your answer is this only, but just check it for the other side as well. Instead of 3.9, put 4.00001 and check. Both the sides it's 11. That means the answer is 11 here. That's it. What about this one? Same way. Clear it off. Write the fraction symbol. 4x divided by square root x plus 1 minus 1. Now here calculated 0. Now what happens to 0? See now if it was 4, the two values very close to it is 3.999 and 4.001. But what about 0? Next of 0 is 0.001, but which is less than 0? It's negative 0.001. I know my students used to get confused with this, because with 0, what they used to do is they used to put 0.999 and 0.111, which doesn't make sense. Understand this. If it is, say, 2, yes, it's 1.999 and then you have 2.001. But it's not the same with 0, because 0 is neutral towards the signs. Its right side is plus and left side is minus. You need to put negative 0.001 and positive 0.001. So let me start with the left value, minus 0.001. The answer is very close to 8. It's not 7.9, it's 8. But check from the right side as well. It's 0. 0.001, and again it's 8. So the answer is 8 over here. Same thing here, it'll be, now what are the values? Near to this is 0.999 and 1.001. Just put it out in the calculator, use the fraction symbol. It's x squared plus 4x minus 5 divided by x squared minus 1, calculated at 0.9999. The answer is 3. And what about the other side? Calculated at 1.0001. The answer is 2.99 is 3. Similarly, do the other values, guys. Okay, now this one I'll do it because these were all whole numbers. It was easier. But now this one here, square root x minus 3 divided by alpha x minus 9. Calculated at 8.999, which is very close to 9. You're getting 0.1667. That is 1 by 6. If you put in the calculator 1 by 6 and press SD, you're going to get 0.1666. Now to check that, you can press calc and instead of few nines, put a lot of nines. Say like this. Okay, that became just too much. Sorry for that. Okay, that just became 9 itself. Let's try with this. And no. Anyways, sometimes you get it, you know. Okay, no. Best thing is, guys, don't go to do all that. Just forget the part which I told just now. Anyways, I'm not going to delete it from the video. So if you just get in the exam, be careful. What you need to do is take little zeros, 0.00, and you'll get this, right? Write it somewhere, 0.16667. Now then press this and solve all your options, all your fractions, and check which is very close to 0.1666. This is the correct answer. Okay, don't go to put a lot of values. For some values, yes, you will get fraction itself in the limits, but some we just now saw, you won't get it. So that's how we solve it. All these, please do it by yourselves. Now, especially such problems, let me do this one over here. Let's take our calculators. Students tend to get confused over here. Now 4x squared plus 21x plus 5 divided by 3x squared plus 17x, and we have plus 10. Now calculate at negative 5. See, now what happens at negative 5 is lesser value is negative 5.001, greater value is negative 4.999. But since it's a not writing, so you don't have to worry about it. It's just calculated, right? You just put the two values. Any order, it's fine. Now I'll calculate it at minus 5.0001. Now you're getting 1.46. Write it somewhere. And then calculate it the other side. Minus 4.9999. And you're getting, see, now this worked over here, right? Fraction. If you press this, it's 1.4615. So sometimes it does work. Even over here, 5.00001, it will be giving you 19 by 13 itself. So try both the ways. But if you're starting, try with little values, write the fraction, and then increase the values. If you're getting error like 0 or math error, ignore that. Solve all the fractions in your option, all the 4 fractions, and then see which matches the correct answer. So that's how we solve these problems. All these directly in calculator, nothing else. All the answers will be easily obtained. And if it's minus also, you'll get minus itself. Okay, you can try this and check for yourselves. And that's the end of question 9. The calculator method makes it so easy. And since this is an MCQ part, I would highly suggest you all just do the calculator method, get the answers as quickly as possible, and then move to the next questions. Question 10 is about tangent lines and velocity. Here we have real world problems and then some interesting problems as well. So refer to the beginning of the problem. This is the situation over here. The position D of the skydiver in meters relative to the ground can be defined by D of t. The function is given here, where t is the time in seconds after the skydiver exited the plane. Now, what is the average velocity of the skydiver between the second and the fifth second of the jump? Now here the time is what? Given, t, right? And they have told second and the fifth jump. Now the average velocity is given by a formula, that is the function of b minus function of a divided by b minus a. This is like the slope formula, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. That's it. Basically you're finding the average. It's similar to this. Now what do you do over here is you need to substitute the t value in this equation. You can either find f of b separately or just put everything in the calculator and solve. See, now first use the bracket. 5000 minus 5 times. What is the t for the b? First is a, b is second. It's 5, fifth second, right? 5 squared. Minus again 5000 minus 5 times 2 squared divided by 5 minus 2. Just put it in the calculator, you get the answer. Let's look into the next ones as well, and then we will come back and solve this. What was the instantaneous velocity of the skydiver at second and at fifth second? Now, what is instantaneous velocity? It's basically instantaneous velocity is the derivative of this. This is the position. D of t means what? Distance or position, right? Derive this, you will get the velocity. Now slope, now over here you might be thinking, okay, this was distance. We did this and how did we get velocity? Now what we did was we found slope, right? What is derivative exactly? Derivative, you must have known this by now, is basically slope of the tangent line. So now this formula is slope formula. That is the derivative itself. That gives you the velocity. Now whenever you have distance, when you derive it, that is d by dx, or with respect to any other variable, you get velocity. Please remember this. If you derive velocity, you get acceleration. So you need to know this. This is some basic things. So here, you have to just derive this. That will be 5000 minus 10. Sorry, derivation of constant is 0. Only it will be minus 5. 2 times 5 is 10t. This is the thing, minus 10t. But what I will do is, I will show you a direct shortcut method and calculator to find this b. And over here, what is the last one? Find the equation of the instantaneous velocity. Okay, equation is basically this one. It is negative 10t. Derive the given equation, you get the the equation. Derivation by power rule, 2 comes down to be minus 10 times t. That's it. No writing plus u or anything. This is derivation. This is the answer for third one. Now let's do it in the calculator for the first and second. I've just typed this as it is. It's 5000 minus 5. Okay, it's over here. 5000 times 5 minus 5 times 5 squared. And over here it's 5 into 2 squared divided by 5 minus 2. The answer is negative 35. And that's the answer. It's in meters right over here. The unit is of velocity is meter per second. Now, if it was given in feet, you can write feet per second and so on. Now, what about the second one? Here, let me clear it out. I will show you directly in calculator, and from this also you can find this answer. I'll tell you now. All you need to do is shift and dy by dx. Now here let's derive this. 5000 minus 5 times t squared. We write variable x the whole square. Okay. At what instant? At 2. So what is the answer? Minus 20. If you want the instant at 5, just change this at 5. Now, this was the average velocity they want at which 2 and 5. Now, we got the answer from the calculator directly. Instead of the big formula, you can do this. Find these both and take the average. 50 divided by, 50 plus 20 divided by 2. It'll be, I'll just do it. It'll be 70 by 2. It's negative 35. It's 50 plus of minus 20. Average is adding both the values and dividing it by 2. The answer is minus 35 itself. So that's the thing. And last one over here was 10t, minus 10t. Because 2 comes down, it'll be minus 10t. That's the answers. Now over here also it's again similar. You can see distance and time is given. A cliff driver's distance d in meters above the surface of the water after t seconds is given. Now calculate the diver's velocity, average velocity for the interval 0.5 and 1. Now here there is no equation. So please remember you need to do the formula itself. F of b minus f of a divided by b minus a. But the values are directly given, right? So it's pretty simpler, you know. So what is this? At 1, I will take this as B and this as A. It's 40.6 minus 43.7 divided by the distance and average of 1 minus 0.5. Put this in the calculator, you'll get the answer. So I've typed this as it is in the calculator, and the answer is 6.2 minus 6.2. Remember, the sign is an important thing as well. So negative 6.2. Now use quadratic regression to find. Now this is done by the graphing calculator, where you can easily graph it and get the equation. But you can graph these points with the appropriate scale. At 0.5, what is the value? 43. Then it's going down, down, and it goes down. You can graph this, but you cannot get the exact equation no matter what. So I hope that this question will not come, this particular one. Then the third one, find an expression for the instantaneous velocity. Okay, now once you have this equation, all you do is derive this. It'll be 2 times this 4 point, it'll be 9 point something. Just derive this equation and you will get the answer. So it'll be 9.82, I believe, minus 82 t minus 0.04. That must be the answer. So yes, that's the answer. Oh, and there is another part, at 3 seconds. Now, what you do is just substitute over here 3, because I already derived it. Otherwise, you can put this in the calculator and derive by shift dy by dx. I'll show it. Derivation requires the original equation of the distance or the position. Shift dy by dx. Now put this out. Minus 4.9 t squared, shift t squared. Then we have minus 0.04 t, that is shift and x value variable, plus 45.06. Now at what value they have asked? At 3. So solve it up. The answer is 29.44. Now here I think so they have substituted in this, so you get that, but still, oh, I have not written 9.1, so that's the thing, I guess. And let's see, yeah, it's absolutely this point. I messed out, right? So that's why it got 4.4, but this is the actual value. And the derivation over here gives you the answer. And similarly, you can solve this problem as well. Please try to solve it by yourselves, and then I will solve it over here with explanation. I hope you have tried. Now we'll go ahead. Football. A goalkeeper can kick a ball at an upward velocity of 25 meters per second. Suppose the height d of the ball in meters t seconds after it is kicked is given by over here. Again, the position of the distance is given. Find the equation of instantaneous velocity. Just derive this. Velocity v of t is basically the derivation d dash. Okay, d dash of t is equal to the instantaneous velocity. The 2 comes down to be negative 10t plus 25. That's the answer. How fast is the ball traveling? 0.5 seconds after it has been kicked. So here you need to find the velocity. How fast? Fast is speed. Speed is velocity, right? Just substitute over here 0.5 instead of t. Or you can use the calculator. Just put this equation and t of 0.5. We have done it just a while ago. If the instantaneous velocity of the ball is 0, now instantaneous velocity, this is 0, okay? V of t is equal to 0. When the ball reaches its maximum height, so it reaches maximum height, obviously. So now imagine the ball is going up. It will reach a maximum height, right? And then it comes down, isn't it? Now at this point, you can see there will be the maximum, the tangent, where velocity is 0. Otherwise, see, it's increasing. See, over here increases, slows down. It will be 0, and then now it will be negative values. So that point is always 0. So that is the point where it reaches maximum, where velocity is 0. At what time will the ball reach? Okay, I thought they're asking something else, but they're asking at what time does it reach this point? So at what time exactly is, we know velocity is 0, right? Substitute in this equation and solve. So it is minus 10t plus 25 is equal to 0. So take minus 10 to the other side. It will be 25 is equal to positive 10t. It's 2.5. At 2.5 seconds, what happens is it will reach the maximum height. After this person hits the ball, it will take 2.5 seconds to reach the maximum height where the velocity is 0, and then it will fall down. What is the maximum height of the ball? This distance, what is it? For that, you have to just put this 2.5 over here in the given equation. Now I know this is confusing. Let me just go from the beginning. The velocity means it's always derived equation, derivation, okay? Derive. How fast is the ball? Fast, speed, velocity, derived equation. Over here it's again derived. Now instantaneous velocity, v of t, derived equation. What is the maximum height? Height is basically static, it's not changing, right? That is the given one, distance. So here, whatever the height you got at whatever the time you got at the maximum height, substitute over here and find the distance. That will be minus pi times 2.5 squared plus 25 times 2.5 plus 1. This is it. Now that would be all the answers. Let's do it in the calculator. Now the first one was the equation which we have written over here. That's derived. But now what is at this 0.5? So you can use the original equation by pressing shift dy by dx. Type it out. That is minus 5x squared plus 25x. Lastly, we have plus 1. Really, if you don't even write the constant, doesn't matter because it will be 0 itself. At what time? 0.5 we need to find. The answer is 20. Let's see one by one. This was, yes, the correct answer. It's 20 meter per second. What about this? If the instantaneous velocity of the ball is 0 and we found out the time, right? We just equate this by 0 and solve it. This one, this equation. And we found time as 2.5. Now here what you need to do is instead of this t, see, let's write that equation. T squared plus 25 distance equation plus 1. Calculate at what 2.5? The time is 2.5. What is the answer? It's 32.5. Here we got 2.5 seconds. The final answer is 32.5 meter. That's the maximum height the ball can go. And now there is some more interesting problems. So this one over here, finding the equation. Okay, this one is a tricky one, okay? But there are simple steps. If you understand that, then you can easily solve them. Find an equation for a line that is tangent to the graph of the function. Tangent to this tangent we need to solve. Imagine this is a parabola, it's something like this. A tangent. Now the problem is tangent means it touches only one point. Tangents can be infinite, right? Everywhere there is tangent. Which tangent? I have no idea now. And perpendicular to the given line. It's perpendicular to this line. Okay, this now helps us a lot because we know this line is going where? Exactly over here like this. And now this perpendicular somewhere over here. But I don't know the exact point. Then using graphing calculator, okay, I don't think so this might be asked, but you can graph them even without the graphing calculator by mode and 7. If you press mode and 7 in scientific calculator, you get all the points and you can graph it up easily. So now let's find the equation of the tangent line. This is not so simple because we know there's a parabola opening upwards. There is a line over here like this. This tangent line must be perpendicular to this line, this linear line, and to this function it must be tangent. So it's a bit tricky. Okay, so now what we will do? So what is the relationship between this function and its tangent line? Do we have any relationship? If I have a function f of x, how can I find its tangent? The function, and you know what is derivative? Derivative is basically slope of tangent line, right? This is the definition, slope of tangent line. So now if I basically derive this function, what am I going to get? The slope of its tangent line. So let's derive the function. What is the derivation? It will be 2x plus 2. So basically whatever I got over here is the slope of the tangent line. This tangent line slope I came to know. That is basically m, isn't it? Slope. That is 2x plus 2. But what does this help us? I don't know which point exactly, right, it's touching. But this line gives us a very important information. That says this particular slope of the tangent line must be perpendicular to this, right? What is the slope of this line over here? M is how much? Minus half, right? We don't write x and all, just minus half. So this is m minus half. Now what rule do we know if two lines are perpendicular? If two lines are perpendicular, then the slope of each other is the negative reciprocal. That means, say, imagine I have 3 by 4. This is one line. If I have to draw a perpendicular line, the slope is negative 4 by 3, negative reciprocal. But now, in another way, there is an easy way to understand this. If you multiply the slopes of perpendicular lines, you must get -1. So now if you multiply this as well, you'll get -1, right? This is another rule. So now I can easily find out the x value. See, because this is in terms of x, right? X value of the tangent line, where it falls. So I will now show it. Basically what I do is I will tell m into m must be equal to -1, isn't it? So if I multiply 2x plus 2 multiplied by -½ what should happen? I should get -1. Let's do this. This half cancels over here also half. It will be minus x plus minus, sorry, 1 is equal to -1. -1 cancels. What is the value of x? Minus x is equal to 0, or x is equal to 0, you can tell, right? So we got x value of 0. But now this just gives us the x coordinate. What is the y coordinate now? Now y coordinate can be found from this function, because we know at this x value, where is the y value? Because now they must touch, right? Now what does tangent line mean? Now if this is the tangent line, sorry, tangent line must touch only one point. Now I know the x value of this tangent line, okay, x value. This is the x coordinate, that is at 0, okay, like this. Now what is the y coordinate? I have no idea, but I know that the tangent line will touch this function at x and y, and they both intersect at that point. So if I substitute now in this equation 0, what happens is I will get the y coordinate. It is 0 itself. Y value is also 0. So it is at 0, 0, the tangent line is touching this particular equation. I know this is a bit confusing. Let me just clear everything and let me just try to get it. Let me try to make it simpler now. I had told all the explanations in the previous part, but now I'll just tell you how we can solve this. But you can't directly solve it. You have to do these methods. First thing, there will be one function, one line. The function's tangent line is what we need to solve. So find f dash of x, that is equal to m of the tangent line. Derive it, 2x plus 2. That's it. Find the slope of the other line. What is the slope of this line? M will be -½ This is it. You need to know the tangent line is perpendicular over here. So if you multiply the slopes, you will get -1. So let us multiply 2x plus 2 times -½ equals -1 and solve for x. So here you multiply this, it will be -x minus 1 is equal to -1. I'll take x to the other side and this 1. It will be -1 plus 1 is equal to x, or 0 is equal to x. So I found the x value of the tangent line. I know wherever this is there, the x value is the same, and the y value also will be the same, because tangent line will intersect this given function. So I will just substitute over here in this function. Instead of x squared plus 2x, I will take x as 0 and find it will be 0 squared plus 2 times 0. So y is equal to 0. This is the x and y values of the tangent line. Still it is not over. The slope of the tangent line is over here. The x and y is found out. Now let's write the equation. What is the equation? You know x and y, right? And the slope. So you can write by using this basic equation, y into y minus, you have done this previously also, I believe. Y minus y naught equals x, you can write it as 1, sorry, into m into x minus x1. It's basically the slope formula itself. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, if you take this to the other side. Now substitute the values. It's y minus 0. This is now 1 and 1, okay? M is -½ and over here what do we have? We have over here, sorry, one important thing. This is the slope of this line. The perpendicular line slope will be the negative reciprocal. Now if you know the parallel line, if you know a line and you want to know the slope of its perpendicular, negative reciprocal means if I have 3 by 4, I just did that, right? I told it a while ago, yeah. So it'll be 4 by 3. So this is the thing. So now over here, -½ will be positive 2 by 1, or positive 2. So the slope is not negative half, this is the thing. Okay, so you need to do positive 2. And now x minus 0. Now let's substitute. Y is equal to, this is 2x. This must be the equation of the tangent line. So all this just to find the equation of the tangent line. You can see it's y is equal to 2x. And if you graph it up, you will get something like this. But with basic rough sketches, you can get an approximate answer. Now let's try the next one over here. What happens? Same thing, derive this. I will directly write m is equal to minus 8x. And what about this? M is equal to 1/4. Now let me multiply minus 8x times 1/4 is equal to negative 1. So here 2 times, it will be minus 2x is equal to negative 1. X is equal to half. Divide by minus half. Minus 2 both the sides. Now you just have to substitute over here g of positive half, sorry, will be minus 4 times half the whole square. So it will be negative 4 times 1 by 4. Okay, now cancel this, you will have negative 1. This much is clear, I believe. So we found this as the y value. Now x value is found out, y value is found out. What's the slope of the tangent line? From this, I can find it's minus 4. So now I will write y minus y naught equals m into x minus x naught. Now here y minus of minus 1 equals m is minus 4 times x minus half. Now let's substitute. Y plus 1 is equal to, here this is, okay, I'm just getting confused. This is x, okay, not multiplication. It's x minus half. So multiply this, minus 4x. Minus 4 times minus half will be plus 2. Now let's rearrange and write. It will be y equals minus 4x. This 2 minus 1 will be plus 1. So this is the answer. I hope that is clear. And similarly, we will do the other ones over here. So how do you do this? Again, derive this and find the slope. It will be, I'll quickly do it now. I mean, these are all the same things, guys. This is the last problem I'll do. Please try the other ones by yourself. There's nothing much difficulty. Wait, this one is same like the previous one. Let me just see whether there are other difficult problems. Over here's the answer. Here also it's the same thing. Okay, now here, no, it's the same thing. It'll be positive 6. Okay, let me do this anyways. So here, quickly let us do. M is what? Derive the first function. It will be 1 because 2 by 2 is 1, x plus 4. Okay, that's the answer. What is the slope of the perpendicular line? Perpendicular to the tangent line, it is negative 1 by 6. So then just multiply them. It will be x plus 4 multiplied by minus 1 by 6. That is equal to minus 1. Now over here, you need to multiply this throughout, like distributive property. It will be negative 1 by 6 minus 4 divided by 6 will be 2 by thirds is equal to negative 1. Now over here, there is x. Sorry for that. Take this to the other side. It will be minus 1 by 6x is equal to minus 1 plus 2 thirds. Minus 1 plus 2 thirds. How much remains? There will be negative 1 thirds remaining. Minus 1 by 6x. Now take this to the other side. First, minus minus cancels. Take this to the other side. X is equal to 6 by 3, or that is 2. Now x value is found out to be 2. So what is the y value? Over here, half into 2 the whole square. That will be 4 by 2. Answer is 2. Y is 2. X and y are 2. So now I can use the formula y minus, we are directly write it, y minus 2 is equal to m. Negative reciprocal, it will be positive 6. Okay, it will be 6 by 1 or positive 6 into x is what? Minus 2. Now let me do the distributive property here. 6x minus 2. I'll take this to the other side. Y is equal to 6x minus 12 plus 2 will be minus 10. So this is the answer. And you can see that's the answer. Oh, now see, I have done some error. Let us just trace back what's the error I have done. It took me a few seconds because I just forgot about this equation properly. Look at this equation. It is 4x. And I forgot that part. 4 times, what is x2? Here it will be 4 by 2 plus 8. So the answer is 10 here. I hope this is clear. Y is 10. So what happens? Minus 10. Here also it's minus 10. So when I take this minus 10 to the other side, minus 12 plus 10 will be minus 2 only. So this is the answer. It will be 6x minus 2. And yes, that is the correct answer. You can see here 6x minus 2. I hope this is clear. Once you understood the method, then it's the same thing carried forward. And now the last problem in this particular topic. The distance s of a particle moving in a straight line is given over here. That is s, that's position or distance, where t is given in seconds and s is measured in meters. Find an equation for the instantaneous velocity v of t of the particle at any given point in time. So now here they have told instantaneous velocity and distance is given. So write an equation, that is derive it. That will be velocity with respect to time. So velocity with respect to time is derivation. It will be 9t squared plus 8. Then this will be 0. That should be the answer. And what next? Find the velocity of a particle for t is equal to 2, 4, and 6. You need to find for velocity. All you need to do is put these values over here in this equation, or you can use your calculator. In the calculator, just press this symbol over here. Sorry, dy, shift and dy by dx, not integral. Now let's type this equation. It's 3x cubed, and then what do we have? Plus 8x, and lastly plus 4, and x value is 2. Sorry, let's start with 2. What is the answer? It's 44. The first answer must be 44. Yes. Next one will be, just change the value over here to 4. It will be 152, and lastly it must be over here. The answer is 33. At 6, 332. Yes, those are the answers. That's how easily we can solve the question number 10. Just be careful with the tangent, finding the tangent part, finding the equation of the tangent. Remember the steps, and the same steps are carried for all the problems. Question 11 is on derivatives, and since it's in the electronic part, you will have MCQs. That is, 4 options will be given to you to select the correct answer. In such cases, all the derivatives can be solved in a calculator method. It's so easy. So let's take our calculators out. It's better to clear your calculator now and then. Clearing is by shift 9, 3 equal and AC. It'll be set to default mode. Now what you need to do is see the options. Now let's take these answers as the options over here. And you need to assume certain value. Let's assume, say, I'll write over here, x is equal to 1.5. You can even assume x as 1, 2, anything, but it's better to avoid 1. Not in these questions. Over here you will get the answer correctly, but there are very rare scenarios where if you consider x as 1, you may not get the correct answer with the shortcut method. I generally go with 1.5 because the calculator will do the calculation. You don't have to do anything, right? Now for the first problem, what I'll do is I'll take 2 x values just to show that for any value it will work. I'll take this as 2.5 then. So now what do you have to do? All you need to do is, see the given equation is there, right? It needs to be derived. Do you have derivation in this calculator? Yes, by shift and this symbol over here, integral symbol, you get dy by dx. That means you're deriving it. Okay, let's derive. But before that, let's type the equation as it is with the brackets. 4x plus 3, close the bracket, and open the bracket again, x squared plus 9, close the bracket. Now, at what x value do you want to derive it? I've assumed one value of 1.5, so let me take it and now write this answer. I will write the answer over here as 72. For x is equal to 1.5, the derived value is 72 from the given question. Now let's do it for 2.5 as well. Only thing is I have to change it over here. You can do other values as well. It's 126. So all I do is this will be 126. In your exam, don't do 2 values. Just take 1 value. Just for your understanding now, I'm going to take 2 values and show it. Now then, what next? Here, the first step was deriving the given equation at any 2 x values. That's it. Now you have 4 options, right? You need to solve all the 4 options in the calculator. Just type it. This is the derived one. X squared plus 6x plus 36. Now calculate this. Don't derive it. It's already derived. F dash. So when we derive the above equation, we get this answers. at this particular x. So now if you just put the x value at 1.5, 2.5, the answers must match. Now let's calculate this at what? 1.5. The answer is 72 and it matches. Or let me change it to 2.5. Absolutely, it should match. This is the correct answer. Whereas the other answers will not match the same one. Only one option will match, so you can easily eliminate. Now imagine you put the first option, it's not matching for 1.5. It doesn't come 72. Then go to the next option. If it matches, that's the answer. If it doesn't match, go to the next one. Only one will match and it will work no matter what if you follow the proper steps. Now let's do over here just to show you. Here, let me type this equation. It's negative 45. And over here, type x to the power 4 plus 60x cubed. And this is cubed. And then we have negative 12x. 12x over here. And lastly, plus 10. Now, calculated at 1.5, the answer is negative 33.3125. So negative 33.3125. This is at x is equal to 1.5. Now, if this was the option for this answer, you should ignore this option. But now, when will you get 33.3125? When we derive this at x is equal to 1.5. Let's do it now. dy by dx, let me derive it. 3x to the power 4 plus 2x over here, plus 2x. Then what we need to do is 5 minus 3x. And close the bracket. Now, what is the x value you need to derive it at? 1.5, and the answer is minus 33.3125. It will match. So this is how easily you can do any derivative problem in calculator. Now in the writing part, we have discussed the formulas and rules. We have to follow that in the writing part. If you want to know the exact way to derive this, you have to just multiply, do the FOIL method, and then derive it. You can please check the part 2 problems, that is the writing part, where everything is already explained. So now this value saves a lot of time. But in the exam, don't start with the options. Start with the given question. Derive the given question first and write it aside. And then start with the options. Whenever an option matches, that's your answer. So don't go to do all the options and then check with the question. No, do the question first and then check the options. Whenever it matches, you can stop. If your answer is the fourth option, then you will have to go until fourth. Otherwise, you might get the answer very early. Even over here is the same thing. Just that remember, it is x over here to the power. You can write 0.5 or 1 by 2. That is over here. And this, be careful in typing. Write it as it is and solve it out. All things in the calculator, even over here, everything can be solved. Please do try it by yourselves and then check the answers. Same thing here. Now here the variable is r. We don't have x, that's fine. Over here it's a, that's fine. You need to derive with respect to a, that's it. Even over here, straightforward problems. Now a real world problem. A pitch is struck by a bat with a mass of m kilograms. Suppose the initial speed of the ball after being struck is given over here. Okay. Find the equation of the instantaneous rate of change of the initial speed of the ball. The same question is explained in detail in the question number 18. It's in the writing part. So you can go over there and see the detailed explanation. Now all you need to do is over here, derive it. Instantaneous rate of change would be derivation of this. So how would you derive? Derivation is by the quotient rule, or you can check it by just your calculator method. Assume m value, that is 1.5, substitute over here, derive it, and substitute x as 1.5, and then put over here m as 1.5. You can get the answer. I'll show it to you over here. You need to press shift and this integral symbol for derivation. Then you can do it 185. M is the x variable over here, minus 15. Now the derivation in calculator can be only definite, in the sense you need to have a value. So value of x, so assume it to be 1.5 and then solve it up, 15.7024. Now here all the options needs to be solved. 42.75 divided by x. Now you open the brackets because we have to square it up, plus 0.15, close the bracket and square it up. And now calculate it at what? 1.5. The answer is 15.7024, the same answer we got. So this is how we can check that's the correct answer. Now here, using graphing calculator, we need to graph it up. Even if you don't have a graphing calculator, you can do it in the calculator. The option is mode and 7, the table method. Type the equation and you can graph it. Only for 0 to 2 seconds. And you can see what happens is it decreases. And over here, the comparing, see, these questions may not come for your MCQ part, but it's there in the written part. Please go there and understand what this means. Here we were checking what happens as the mass increases, right? See, when the mass increases, the speed, the instantaneous rate of change is reduced. So the lower the mass, the better for the baseball bat, So to hit the ball easily, it's better the mass is less. So here, basically, you're just comparing it. But this first one might be very useful because this might be asked in the exam. Yeah, this is all reasoning type. Even these problems directly in calculator, let me do one of the problem here. First thing is shift and integral symbol, and we need to derive it. Doesn't matter how big the equation is, as long as you follow the steps, you will get the correct answer. Now it's squared, 2x squared, and then we have plus 3, and divided by x cubed over here, minus 2. Now at what x value do you want to solve this? We generally take 1.5, so take that and remember this answer. It's negative 30.66. Now let's see the answers, all the options, and substitute x value over there. So let's just write this. At x is equal to 1.5. In the exam, please write this always. It's negative 30.6694. Now this must be put in the calculator directly, not with d by dx. It's already derived, that's why take it directly. Power 6 minus 2x to the power 4 minus 8x cubed, and then we have negative 9x squared, and lastly we have minus 8x, and close the bracket. Over here again, variable x cubed minus 2 the whole square. Open the bracket and close the bracket and square it up. Now what value you want to calculate this at? 1.5. The answer is, okay, now it's not matching. Why? Because I'm sure that I've done some mistake over here. In the exam, guys, please double check the values. Now let's go over here and check the values. Over here, this is correct. This is correct. This is also correct. Minus x squared, minus 8x. And this is over here plus. Now I've written as plus, it should be minus. And the answer over here matches. Okay, it's good that I did the mistake. I'm not going to edit it out. So you can see if you have taken one small error, you will never get the answer. So in your exam, you will have 4 options and you'll be trying all the 4 options, but still it's not matching. Don't think this method is wrong. Make sure you substitute it properly. So once you substitute in the derivative, double check all the values. And only then you will get the correct answer. It matches. So this is the correct answer. And all the other options would be wrong. I know it's a bit lengthy, you need to substitute, but in your physical calculator, you can do it quickly. And once you have a hang of it, you can do it very easily as well. So all these are the answers. Please try them by yourselves. Or you can use the quotient rule as well, but the calculator method will be more quicker than the quotient rule. Even over here. Okay, so over here also is the same thing. You can see instead of quotient rule, you can try simplifying. No, but this is quotient rule is the best method over here because all the other methods it'll take longer. For here also, it's better to use like if you're doing the actual method, w by w squared plus w4 by w squared. Now simplify this, will be 1 by w plus w squared. You can use 1 by x formula. It will be minus 1 by x squared, and then it will be over here 2x. And then you can take the common term. It will be x squared because it's not there, right? What you do is it will be x squared. I've written as x, it's supposed to be w. Now this will be minus 1, and over here you need to multiply this x squared, right? It will be plus 2x squared, x cubed, sorry, squared multiplied by x. So you can write it as 2x cubed minus 1 by x squared. So you get the same answer. This is this sort of method, like splitting it out, solving it, and then taking the common term, LCM, sorry. Otherwise, you can use product rule and directly get the answer as well. But among all, the calculator method, without anything, you can easily solve it. That's the end of this question. I hope you have found the calculator method helpful. Please be careful when you're substituting. Double check your values after substitution and follow the steps accordingly, and you will definitely get the answer using the shortcut method. Question 12 is about derivatives of exponential, logarithmic, and trigonometric functions. Here you have lots of trig functions, cosine, tan, sine, and everything. You might think whether this can be solved in calculator. Yes, absolutely. Just like how we have done in the previous video, we can solve all the derivatives of these problems in calculator. But here you need to follow some rules. The first thing is this default mode in your calculator will be degrees. You need to convert to radian. That's by shift mode and press option number 4. Now it's in radian mode. So now that it's in radian, you can start solving any of these problems. I will come to over here cosecant or secant values in a minute, but let's just try the this one over here, tangent. Let's do both the problems. First thing, you need to press shift d by dx and derive this. 4 sine 3x, just type it as it is, minus x. And what is the x value you're assuming? Let's assume the same thing, 1.5. We get here at x is equal to 1.5, it's negative 3.5295. Now what we need to do is look into all the options. Now here this is the answer. You will have this as the final answer in your options. Let's solve it up. This one will be directly typing it, cos 3x, that is alpha x, close the bracket, minus 1. Now calculated at 1.5, the answer must match, and it is matching. So that's the answer. Now over here, let's do this one, next one. What's going to happen is you need to do shift this one, dy by dx, 4x squared minus 3 tan 2x. Close the bracket. And what happens over here? X value, again, assume it to be 1.5 itself and note this answer. And please double check this, okay? Before you finalize the answer, double check it. So we are at x is equal to 1.5. The value we got is 5.878. Now that is derived. Now look at all the answers which are derived. That f prime of x means derived answer. Now what I do is clear it off, type it as it is, alpha x. Now what about secant? Do we have the secant option here? No, but we know secant is 1 by cosine, right? It's reciprocal identity. 1 by cosine is secant. Secant 2x. Now what about the square? I can't just square over here. It doesn't, see over here the square, it's wrong, because the other thing gets squared up. So now I need to remove this. So how would I do it? I'll just write cosine 2x. So squaring is for the entire term. See this secant square, right? I'll just write it out. Imagine secant is there, secant x, that is equal to 1 by cosine x. Now we have 2x over here, so we write 2x. Now it's squared. This means it is same as secant x, the whole square. Okay. So I need to just put the brackets and square it up entirely. So now let me just use brackets here, and over here ended up with brackets and square it. And now calculate it at 1.5, the answer will match. Now if you have not done this properly, if you have missed the square, or if you have missed the 2, or if you have not written the reciprocal identity properly, you won't get the answer. Please write this properly and then check at x is equal to 1.5. Same, whatever x you assume, it will match. Now this one is straightforward. Let's look at this one over here, left side. You can see it's tan cubed. That's fine. First shift dy by dx. The question will be derived. Use the brackets, tan 2x. There is no t, so we use x as the variable. The whole power 3. the first part is done. Minus, what is cosecant? Cosecant is 1 by sine, but since it's raised to the power, open the brackets first. 1 by sine 3 times x, close the bracket, and now close the main brackets and power it up. It's to the power 4. And now what is the x value you're assuming? We always assume 1.5. So we will see what's the answer. Now we got a syntax error. Now look over here. Whenever you get syntax error, understand that's not a math error. That means it's not undefined or anything. Syntax is, I've missed some brackets or something. Let's check. It's good that this happened. Let's go. See, it's telling somewhere over here there's a bracket issue. So here, see, I've not closed the bracket. Can you see that? Now it's all right, I believe. You get the answer 2.958. So this is the answer. So remember, when it's a syntax error, check for the brackets. There are other type of syntax error as well. I will come to that in a later problem where natural logarithm comes in picture, ln. That is a different type way to solve it. Now after this, I will solve each of the problems. Now each of the solutions. Here is a big solution. It must match 2.95. It's always better to write it out. 2.9583. And what I will do is clear this off. Now it's in radian mode. If it was not in radian mode, I will not get a matching answer. It'll be wrong. So whenever trigonometry is there, put it in radian mode. Now 6 tan. Now it's squared, so I'll use the bracket right now. Tan 2x. And then square it up. Okay, now I have to use another bracket and now square it up. That was the issue I had got in the last, just a while ago. Closing the brackets was the issue. And then secant. So open the brackets. What is secant? It's 1 by cosine 2x. And now it's squared, so I need to close the bracket and square it up. Plus, we have 12. Again, open the bracket. It is 1 by sine now because it's cosecant. It's 3 times x. Close the bracket and close it up. And now power it up to power 4. And lastly, multiply this with what? Cotangent, that is 1 by tangent 3x. Close the bracket. Now, what do you want to calculate at? 1.5. Is the answer matching? Yes. Only one correct answer will match. So this is the thing. As long as you know the substitutions. So for secant, it's 1 by cosine. Cosecant is 1 by sine. It's all easy and direct. And this is how we do it. And this is also pretty straightforward. You can try all the others by yourselves, guys. Now it doesn't matter. Don't think, okay, it's product rule or anything. No calculator method will work. See, these are very complicated, which we have solved. These are pretty simple ones. You need to have the answer, otherwise you cannot solve it. Over here now, we have cosecant at the bottom. So what you need to do is, for this particular one, let's solve it. You need to start with dy by dx. Okay, we got this. Now what you need to do is split them out. Don't write it together. Don't use the fraction symbol. X squared multiplied by 1 by cosecant power 4 2x. This is also same as this, right? That is what I'll be doing. I'll write x squared first, multiply it with what? Now 1 by cosecant is technically sine, right? So I'll directly write sine. Sine what? I'd use the bracket, it's the power 4, right? Open the bracket. Sine 2x, close the bracket. This is for the 2x I've closed. Close one more bracket and raise to the power 4. And x value is 1.5. Now that is not the x value. Over here, press next and now press 1.5. You get the answer, negative 0.04. So I'll just write it over here, negative 0.04889. Now what you need to do is put this particular final answer in the calculator and solve it at x is equal to 1.5 itself, because I've assumed over here x as 1.5. Here, do the fraction symbol, 2x plus 8x squared. Now what about cotangent? Multiply it and use the fraction over here. Cotangent is 1 by tangent 2x. That's it. Now go down over here. What is cosecant? Now here, don't change it like up and down and all. Just write 1 divided by sine 2x. Now open the brackets and close the brackets over here. The brackets are very important, otherwise it'll be an error. I mean, you can do it without brackets, but many tend to get errors without brackets if you do a simple error, So that's the answer. Is it matching? Yes, it's absolutely matching. It should match. The correct answer will match the question, this answer. Because whatever you get over here is derived at that particular x value. And now this is already the answer at derived. So at that x value, it must be same. Only one answer can be same, because if there are two answers, that means there are two solutions. So in your MCQ, only one correct answer will be there. So make sure you choose the correct one. And these are also again same problems. Over here, it's just square root. Cosine phi t is fine. Over here, you should write again. Secant is what? 1 by cosine itself. So, okay, let's solve this up because it's coming 0 over here. Now, why is this? Okay, before solving this up, guys, let's just understand what is happening here. They both are inverse of each other, right? Square root, cosine phi t, secant phi t. What is that? Cosine phi t multiplied by 1 by cosine phi t, isn't it? This cancels. What is the square root of 1? It's 1. Now, what is the derivative of 1? It's 0. So now if you do this derivative, shift dy by dx, the calculator method, square root cosine phi t, close the bracket, multiplied with 1 by cosine phi t. And now here at x is equal to any point, what will happen? It will be 0, because it's a constant value. So that's the answer. Now here it is 0, so it's a constant. So whenever you get such answers 0, just check over here. Okay, you will understand it's constant. The answer is directly 0. And over here the answer is easily obtained basically. Now here you need to check it by the calculator method. Same way over here, all these problems, see, just consider this to be x squared into secant squared 3x. Then you can solve it up. We've done similar problems. And now over here, sine 1 by sine, you don't go to change anything, just write it as 1 by sine itself. 1 by sine is cosecant, but cosecant is not there in the calculator, so we have to use it as sine. Always take sine and cosine, get secant and cosecant as cosine and sine. These are simple ones because they're directly available in the calculator. Over here again, now this is constant y. Now 4 and 4 can be removed common out. What is remaining? Sine squared 3x plus cos squared 3x. What is this? That's equal to 1, Pythagorean identity. So 4 times 1 is 4. What is the derivative of a constant 4? It's 0. That's the reason. Please do try them by yourselves. These are all straightforward problems. Just take time. Be careful when you're substituting in the calculator. Double check the values and then solve it up. Similarly, please do solve all the problems and check with the answers. And over here, again, the same thing, derivative of these, just by rules. See over here, sine square. Now, this is chain rule. If you're thinking how this happened, what is the chain rule over here? If it was x squared, it is 2x, right? But instead of x, we have sine, so it will be 2 sine x. Now, derive what was sine x. This is done. What is the sine x derivative? It's cosine x. So that's the answer. Now here what happens is, it's like basically the whole square, right? Oh no, look here, this square is only for x, so it is basically like sine x square only. So what is the derivative of sine x? Cos x, but since we have x squared, we write like this, multiplied by 2x, so that is the answer. And over here it is sine 2x, so it is just cos 2x multiplied by, what is the derivative of 2x? It's 2, so that will be the answer. But in calculator, anyways, you can check the answer, any answer. And even over here, you can look at the values over here done. And that's the end of this problems. So please make sure you understand the calculator method thoroughly, solve other problems, check the answers, write the values once you derive the question, and then check for the options. And whichever matches the question will be the answer. Question 13 is just same as the previous question. Here the topic name is same, derivatives of exponential, logarithmic and trigonometric functions. In the question 12, we mainly dealt with trigonometric functions. Now we are dealing with logarithmic and exponential functions. The derivative can always be solved in your calculator if you have got the 4 options. All you would need to do is type in the values. So for the first thing, you need to know the 4 options. Okay, let's take these as the options. Then what you do is, whatever is the question, press shift dy by dx and type it out the given question. It'll be x cubed, and shift natural logarithm gives you e to the power x, and x value we'll consider to be 1.5. And now write this answer. At 1.5, it is 45.377. Now always consider 1.5, so you don't need to write this, just write the value, that's enough. And now check all the four options. You need to just type it out. Obviously it's product rule to solve, but we can directly get the answer multiplied with e to the power x, and then add it. Okay, so this is the answer or this is the answer. Anyone will be given. I'll show both will be the correct answer itself. And over here it is cubed, and we have multiplied with e to the power x. Since these are separate terms, even if you don't put multiplying sign, it will be considered as multiplication. The x value is 1.5, and you can compare, it is the same. Even you can try it over here, the next one, it'll be this the same. You know, this is simplification, x squared e to the power x, and open the brackets. You should go down. Now open the brackets. X plus 3, close the bracket. Calculated at 1.5, the answer is 45.377. Let's try this one over here. First, shift dy by dx, solve the given question. X plus 2 to the power x. And now over here, x value is 1.5. And the value we got is 2.9605. Now, all you need to do is calculate this at the same x value. It's 1 plus 2 to the power x. Now, here you can see it's log 2. Please remember, you cannot use log 2 over here, because in your calculator, you must always consider logarithm as natural log, ln itself. But when ln comes, I'll tell you one more thing. Now here, if you consider this, it's not going to give you the correct answer. It should be 2.96. If you take natural logarithm, now you get the answer. Just remember, if you have 4 options and then all the options has log in it, then just instead of writing log, take ln in your calculator. The calculator is set to understand all logarithmic functions as like this. So this is this, okay? And now over here, because the formula, right? Actually the formula kind of varies if you are solving it. These both can be used as the formulas, but your calculator value will always consider ln as the formula for 2 to the power t. That's the reason behind it. But anyways, now let's look at this one. Here it's the same thing. First, shift dy by dx, x to the power x multiplied by 4 to the power 3 times x, and x is considered to be 1.5, and the answer over here is 3706. Now this one over here, we'll take the simplified version because that is generally what will come in the exam. You should take it as x. Now, okay, over here you can see it's ln only, so it's fine. 1 plus 3x ln 4. Close the bracket, and it's all closed. The answer is 3706. But if at all there was log, just take it as ln. And now these problems are pretty straightforward as well. There's no problem in these whatsoever. You can just put the values, check the answers. Again, over here, simple problems. Here, it is ln itself, no problem. I've tried most of the problems. They all work. For one type, I will come in a minute. For natural logarithm, where secant is there, you need to change a little bit. Only those are different. All the others are just same. Let's solve this one. Shift dy by dx. What is it? 3 e to the power tan x. And now close the bracket, and it's already closed over here. It's 1.5 as x value. It is 0.0537. It's better you write it down, or if you can remember in your mind, but in exam don't go to do it. Just write it down no matter what, okay? So it is 0.05378. Now all you need to do is look into the 4 options and start solving them up. Here you have this option, secant squared. So directly it is, sorry, not the fraction symbol, 3 e to the power tan x. Close the bracket, multiplied with, now open the bracket, 1 divided by secant is cosine, 1 by cosine, x Now close the bracket over here and again close the main bracket and square it up. Calculate it at 1.5. It should match. Now it's not matching. Okay. It's a good thing I did this. Okay, I'm not going to edit this. Why did I get the wrong answer? Till now, whenever we solve, we only had exponential and logarithmic functions. We did not have trigonometry. But now look at my default mode. It's degrees. If I have degrees, I'll get wrong answer. This is the issue. Now let me change this. Shift mode and 4. Now when I use x 1.5, this is the answer. Okay. So let me write it out over here, 797984350.1. It's a big one. Now here also just use the same thing. As long as you have substituted everything correctly, I've done all correctly over here. So now shift dy by dx, over here. Now clear it and then shift dy by dx. Write this up, 3e to the power tan x, close the bracket, at 1.5. What is the answer? It's the same answer. But if it was in degrees mode, it won't work. Only in radian mode, it will work for trigonometric functions. So please keep that in mind. Now I'm getting the correct answer. But that time, that was an error. So whenever trigonometrics are there, please do this. Now these are again fine. You have no problem with these. I will just show you, for example, shift and dy by dx. Let's take both of these, second and third one, 77 and 78. So what you need to do is natural logarithm root of 8 alpha x at x of 1.5. Now here, what is this? Syntax error. So let me just check what is the problem. I have not closed the bracket. See over here. Now it'll be all right. Okay, it's 0.333, easy to remember. Now let me solve this up. Here also, use this 1 divided by 2 to the power x, where x is 1.5, it is 1/3 or 0.333. So that's the answer. Let's do the other one as well. Shift and dy by dx, type it out. Natural logarithm of x cubed, because we do not have t, we use x as the variable for any variables. 3x again. Close the bracket. Now write it as 1.5. And what is the answer? 1.238. Now, the final answer over here, whichever is there, just do the same thing, but as it is, no dy by dx, directly the given answer. So 3 times x squared plus 1, close the bracket, and what do we have? X times x squared plus 3, close the bracket, calculated at 1.5. The answer is 1.2380 and so on. Now we can see an important problem. Here we have natural logarithm and composed of a trigonometric function. It is very important to note this. Whenever you have ln and any trig, I'll write trig over here, trigonometric, you cannot use directly this in the calculator. I will show you what happens. But if you use log base e for trig, you will get the answer. For the calculator method, don't use ln when trigonometric functions are there. When it's composed inside, if it is multiplying with trigonometry, then it's fine. Over here, it doesn't matter. But when you have ln inside a trig function, we just use log base e, because ln is equal to log base e. The logarithm with the base e is natural logarithm, isn't it? So this is what we will do. Now we will do both the ways and check. Over here, we will first do dy by dx, ln, cosine is shift and, no shift, just cosine x, that is alpha x, close the bracket, at x is 1.5. Look, I have opened 2 brackets and closed 2 brackets. Everything is all right, but I still get syntax error. The reason is the computation cannot happen. Now what I do is, here I will just change this to log base e. So let me clear it out and write it out. Instead of natural logarithm, press this symbol here above ln. That's log base e. Now, but you need to put the base e. You can do it by shift over here like this and power 1 over here. This is fine, power 1. Or the better way is, you can press alpha and into 10th power, any number, 10th power symbol. Can you see? That is also giving you e. But you should press alpha and that. There is e over here. And what is it equal? What is composed inside it? Alpha x, cosine. Close the brackets properly. And now write the value 1.5 and you will get the answer. It is negative 14.101. Remember that it's better to write it out. In your exam, please always write it out. Now what I do is I have to check all the four options. Let's look into the answer. Here the answer is very simple, negative tan x. Calculated at 1.5, the answer must match and it is matching. Same thing over here. But over here, look, is it composed inside with a trigonometric function? No, there is no trig value inside or over here. So directly you can do this. Say it's cosine x. Now first it's dy by dx. Shift and this symbol. Now you have to press cosine x, natural logarithm, x squared plus 1, close the bracket. And what is this? X value we consider it to be 1.5. And you will get the answer, negative 1.11. You can write it out, and now we will solve this as well. Use the fraction symbol, 2x times cosine x. Close the bracket. Over here it is x squared plus 1. And over here it is minus sine x multiplied with natural logarithm x squared plus 1. And close the bracket here. The answer calculated at 1.5 and it is the same value. So if you change over here, calculate it at 2, it varies, but then you have to derive this also at 2. But we'll calculate it at 1.5 because we did this. It was minus 1.11. That's the correct answer. So this is how you solve all these problems in the calculator directly. Now please do these by yourselves as straightforward as well. Even these, nothing much over here. Here as well. The calculator method will work for all the problems, even over here. Anyway, this is secant, right? I'll do this. Even I'll do this one. Okay, there is cube root. Remember, the calculator must be in radian mode. If it's not, press shift mode and then 4. It's in radian now. Press shift and dy by dx. Write it out. You cannot write ln. Why? Because there is trigonometry. Use log base e, that is alpha e. And over here we have secant. Secant is basically 1 by cosine. That is alpha x. Close the bracket. And then what do we have? Plus tan x. Close the bracket. And at what value? X is 1.5. The answer is 14.13, 1413. It's easy to remember. I'm not going to write it, but you need to write it in the exam somewhere and then solve the others. Solve the options now. Now let's solve this. It is secant. Now here, write it all together. Now first part is secant, right? I'll use another fraction because secant is 1 by cosine x. Okay, that's done. Multiplied with what? Tan. Tan is direct. X. That is done. We have plus. Again, what is it? Secant. That is 1 by. Secant is cosine. X. And that is squared up. Whole square. Divided by. Okay, I just realized the answer is secant d. Let's do both. Anyways, this also might be your answer. Sometimes you never know. So over here again, 1 divided by cosine x. Close the bracket. Plus tan x. Close the bracket. Calculated at what? 1.5. The answer will match. It was 1413. Even over here we get the same. You can just try secant t also. That is 1 by cosine x. Just this value. What should happen at 1.5? It's 14.13. So because they're all equal, right? They must give you the same answer. Let's do this one as well. All you need to do is shift dy by dx. Use this symbol. Either shift and this square root, or we will use this one over here, shift and x to the power symbol. You can put any value of the radical. It's 3. Over here we have e to the power 2x plus, go next, and plus x squared, sorry, not cube. And what do you want to take x value as? We generally take it 1.5 and the answer is 1.9. Just remember that, 1.908. Now we need to solve this in the calculator directly and substitute the value of x. So here you just write 1 by 3 multiply by opening bracket e to the power 2x, that's alpha x, and then we have plus x squared, sorry, it's cubed, close the bracket, to the power minus 2/3, 2 by 3. And then what we do is multiply it with 2 multiplied by e to the power 2x and plus 3, again x squared alpha x to the power 2 and close the bracket. Calculated at 1.5, the answer is 1.908. That was the same answer we got. So all the problems, it will work. This is the shortcut method, and that is the end of the question 13. We are now in the penultimate question of the part 1. It's on fundamental theorem of calculus. All the problems are definite integral problems. When definite integrals, you will be given the limits, and these can be directly solved in the calculator. All you need to do is type it out as it is, integral 3 from way to way minus 3 to 1. What happens? The answer is 12. Same way you can do any other problem. Integral, type it out as it is. Only one variable is there, that is x cube, x variable, or any other variable, but it will be only a single variable. It is 8x squared plus 21x plus 20. And now what you need to do is start from minus 3 till minus 1, and the answer is 16 by 3, or it is 5.333. That's the thing. If you're wondering what is the method, it's very simple. You need to just integrate this. What happens if I'll take the simple problem because the method is same. When you integrate it, it's going to be 3x, right? Now you apply the limit 1 and minus 3. Upper limit is always bigger number, lower limit is a smaller number. Now when you apply the limits, it's upper limit minus the lower limit. That means 3 times 1 upper limit minus 3 times minus 3. So what's the answer? It'll be 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 times 3 is 9, but minus 9, minus will be plus. Answer is 12. Same thing over here, it would be just x cubed minus x cubed by 3 plus 10x. Now you need to apply the limit 2 and minus 1. What happens is, the first one will be minus, instead of x you have to put 2 plus 10 times 2 minus the entire thing again with the value of 1. Instead of x you put minus 1, over here plus 10 times minus 1. Here now we can put this in the calculator and solve, or you can just directly put it because it's MCQ part. But let's solve this up. It'll be 2 4 8 minus 8 by 3 plus 20 minus, over here it's cube, minus sign remains, minus will be plus, so it'll be 1/3. Why? Because minus 1, the whole cube is minus 1 itself. Then you multiply this minus, it'll be plus 1 by 3 plus 10 times minus 1 will be minus 10. And now let's solve it up. You multiply this minus sign here, it's going to be minus 8/3 plus 20 minus 1/3 minus minus and minus will be plus 10. So here it will be 30. Why? 20 plus 10 is 30. And what about this? Minus 8 by thirds and minus 1 by thirds. Add them up, but the minus sign, it's 9 by thirds. That is how much? 30 minus 3. Answer is 27. Yes, that's the answer. So that's the long method, but easiest method is in the calculator, definite integral problem. You have the symbol over there, just click on that, and that is the end of this question. And now we are in the final question of the EoT term 3. The techniques of integration is the question number 15. Here all these problems can be easily solved in calculator because this is in the MCQ part. So let's take our calculators. One important thing to know over here, we need to know the options, otherwise this cannot be solved. So let's look into the options. So when you integrate this particular equation, you're getting this answer. So what if you differentiate it? Now imagine you differentiate it, you must get the above question, isn't it? So this is the thing, because they both are inverse of each other. Integral gives you the answer. If you differentiate, you get back the question. So now what I do is I'll type this question as it is. Please follow how to do this exactly. Cosine x, that's it. Close the bracket, and you can put a multiplication sign here, or you can ignore, that's fine. Now remember, since it's in trigonometry, press shift, mode and 4 and make it to radian. Now what you need to do is not equal to, you need to press calc at 1.5. Let's solve this particular equation. You can even change the value of 1.5. You can make it anything else, but in general, I always use 1.5, that's it. You can stick to that same value. Now, what is the answer you're getting over here? We are getting 0.106. So write it down over here at 1.5, that is x value, we are getting 0.1061. Now what you need to do is solve all the four options. But how do you solve them? Derive them. Shift and this symbol gives you dy by dx. Write it out, sine x into sine x, close the bracket, plus cosine, that is cosine x. And now don't write c because it's constant, it will be derived anyways to 0. Now this x value is whatever you assume just now, that is 1.5, and look here, it matches. Only one correct answer will match, all the others will be unique. So now even over here you can do the same thing. Let's do a little different type. Now what about natural logarithm? Now here we need to look into the options. Since there is no square root, no trigonometry in this, you can directly solve it up. That is, put x times natural logarithm x over here, close the bracket. Now calculate it at 1.5. Let's write the answer over here. It's 0.60819. Now you need to solve all the four options, but don't directly solve them. Press shift dy by dx and then type it out. 1 by 2, it's over here x squared, multiply it with natural logarithmic x, close the bracket. Now it's very important, if you open a bracket inside, close it as well. There are already two brackets initially, but you need to open and close properly. Minus 1/4, and over here you need to just put x squared and calculate the x value at 1.5. That's the answer, it matches. It should match. The correct answer will always match. Now even over here they are pretty straightforward problems. You can try them by yourselves. And sometimes, if at all you have natural logarithm with trigonometry, use this over here, log base e, then it's all right. Now let's try this one over here. You need to know what's the answer. This is the answer over here. So let us do this. All you need to do is type it out, x squared multiplied by e, that is shift and ln to the power x cubed. Now what next? Now calculate it at 1.5 and write the answer somewhere over here, 65.7546. And now what you do is put this as it is, 1 by 3 e to the power, that is shift and over here e to the power alpha x cubed. And okay, now this doesn't help. I need to do it at dy by dx. So don't do this mistake in the exam. If you press calc over here, no, this is absolutely different. But if you derive that particular answer, that is by dy by dx, 1/3 x cubed. Now it is e to the power, that is shift and e to the power x cubed over here at 1.5. So x value is 1.5. Now it will match over here. So this is how we solve these problems. No need of any substitution, no u substitution, nothing. Direct calculator method. You need to look into the answers and solve. Now let's do this one. This is interesting. Now what is secant? Multiplied by secant is, now always use bracket when you're doing secant because it's 1 by cosine. That's the reciprocal identity. Now close the brackets and it's squared, so square it up. After the brackets, calculated at 1.5, so let's write it out, 299.775. Now what you need to do is, it must be in radian mode and it is, so it's fine. Now look at the answer. Here, the first part is pretty simple. You need to first press dy by dx, x, tan x. Everything is there, nothing to worry about. Plus, now here if I press natural logarithm, I'll show you. Natural logarithm, even if you want, you can put absolute value, but that's not required. Cosine x, close the bracket and use 1.5. You're getting a syntax error and there is no bracket error or anything. Why is this? Because we have used natural logarithm. Now here all you need to do is remove this and use log base e, that is alpha, and this symbol gives you base e. Now let's try cosine x and close the bracket. It was already closed, I guess. No, there is two brackets. Okay, now it's proper. At 1.5, now this is matching. So whenever you have natural logarithm, ln is equal to log base e. So ln is equal to log base e. Just that when you're computing in this calculator, use log base e, you will get the answer. Now, how about this problem? This looks interesting. Now, this also seemed like how we did a while ago. And in fact, this is pretty straightforward as well because there is no trigonometry, no square root here. It's direct substitution. Now, what do we do is, first thing, open bracket, natural logarithm x, that is over here. Close the brackets properly and square it up. Write this value. It is 0.16444. Okay. So now what you need to do is look into all the four options. Over here we have the final answer, right? This is the correct answer, but you will have four different answers. You need to do this for all the methods. So all the options, sorry. X multiplied by, open the bracket, natural logarithm, that is directly x, close the bracket and close the natural logarithm bracket as well and square it up, minus 2 times x, natural logarithmic x, plus, close the bracket, plus 2 times x. Now calculate this particular value at 1.5 and the answer should match, and it will match. This is the answer. Here you can directly use this natural logarithm itself, no need of log base e. Why? Because there is no trigonometry or no inner function involved. Similarly, please do try all the others by yourselves and you will definitely get the correct answers. All these solutions are worked out. This problem is an example where you may not get the answer if you use natural logarithm because there is trigonometry. See, it's not 100%. You might get the answer for ln as well because this is very simple function. Only sine and cosine is there. But generally, when there is secant, square root, you will not get. So you have to use log base e. So we will use log base e and try this. Now here we will write, clear your calculator once in a while. And now we will write that as cosine alpha x. The question as it is. Now instead of log natural logarithm, I'll use log base e by pressing alpha and this symbol over here. And we have sine alpha x. Now all the brackets are closed. And now what I will do is, I'll just write a multiplication sign here. Calculate this at 1.5. So what is the answer over here? Now this is not the correct answer. Why? Because I have not changed it to radian mode. Shift mode and 4 gives me the radian mode. Now this is the correct answer. So what you need to do is write it down somewhere, negative 1.7741. It's important to write 10 to the power minus 4 as well. Now let's look into the answer. You will have four options. You need to try out all the four. Now this is the final answer over here, isn't it? So how do I take that? Shift and dy by dx. Now type it out. Sine x, close the bracket, multiplied with natural logarithm, again sine, sorry, it's not cosine, sine x, close the bracket of x and also the sine, and then what do you have? Minus sine x and close the bracket properly, and over here we have 1.5. Let's look at the answer. It should match this and it will match it. So this is the final answer. I mean, this is the correct answer. The other options will not match over here. I just realized I used ln and I got the answer, but let us try with log base e because we generally take log base e. See, over here it worked, okay? But generally it may not. You'll get a syntax error and then you need to just change that. Let's try with log base e now. Sine x, close the bracket. Once you open, count the brackets as you go on. Multiply with log base e and then over here put sine and close the x and close the bracket of first x and then the sine as well. Now everything is closed, but you can see one is extra. So I'll just remove one. Count the brackets properly. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, this is fine now. And then what? Minus sine x. So sine x and now close the bracket properly again. And now 1.5. The answer must be, yes, that's the correct answer. Now over here, this is a great example to show that natural logarithm works in various cases. But whenever you have secant or square root, please use log base e. It'll be 100% proper. But otherwise, if you get a syntax error over here, just change it to log base e. It will definitely give you the answer. Whereas all these problems you can try it out by yourselves. Now these problems are very direct problems. All you need to do is put this as it is in the integral option. Let's do this. All you need to do is press this integral over here and then type it out. X sine 2x, and what do we have got over here? Limits are 0 to 1. Now the answer we get will be in decimal form generally. So now what you need to do is write this out, 0.4353 somewhere, and now solve this up. Half cosine over here cos 2x, just 2, sorry, plus 1/4 sine 2. So this value should and must match what we got, and it matches. That's how we check this answers. Here also it's same thing. Since it's in radian mode, you can directly put pi and check. That's absolutely fine. And over here, if you do this, you'll directly get -4 over here. Same way, please do try the other problems by yourselves. All the answers are mentioned. Here in your calculator, you won't get this fraction form. You'll get decimals. So do check that. Even over here, all these are very simple problems. These are with the limits. They are called definite integrals. So just substituting in the calculator. Now this is not definite integral, but we can easily check the correct answer when there are options over here. And similarly, all these problems are solved. There are just plenty. Now, what if you have sine AX and BX? What happens over here in such cases? Not to worry. What I will do is I'll assume some value for sine A value and B value. So let me consider this. Let me type it out as it is. Sine, I'll take A value as 3 and B value as 4. A multiplied X, I generally take 1.5 itself. And what about cosine? It is Bx. B, I will take it as 4 into 1.5. And now don't take them as same values. It must be unique. That's the only thing. Okay, I shouldn't have written 1.5. I could have directly, even if you have written it directly, it's fine. You can write it as like this, x only, because this one method, if you learn, that's better to continue the same method. See here, sine 3x, because a value is assumed to be 3, and cosine 4x, 4 value is b. Now calculated at 1.5. Now remember this answer. So write it down somewhere. And then you need to do the same thing for all the options, right? So I'll just write 0.93859, and over here a value is taken as 3 and this as 4, x has 1.5. Now let's look into the final answer. Now this is not the final answer. Let's see, where is the final answer? Over here, I believe. So you can see this is the final answer. Now type this out with dy by dx. Now first thing, 1 divided by, what is b squared? B squared will be 4 squared minus 3 squared. Close the brackets. And now again open the brackets. Over here b, what is b? Again 4 multiplied with sine. Now inside sine there is a, that is 3 into, over here put it as x itself, because at the end we will change that. Now close the bracket of sine ax is done. Multiplied with sine bx. Sine 4 times x, close the bracket. Or you can directly write it over here as 4x as well, that's fine. Now after this sine x bx, you need to put a plus. A value is 3 multiplied with cosine ax, that is over here 4, sorry, that's 3 multiplied by x, close the bracket. And now multiply this with cosine bx 4x, that is, close the bracket. Now what is the x value? It's 1.5, and now there is some, over here, this is the error. What is this? Multiplication. Now still there is an error. That means I have done the bracket error. So I opened the bracket over here, closed it, opened, closed, opened and closed, open. See, now I have not closed one of the open bracket. Initially I opened it, right? So now I will get the answer, and look at the answer. Yes, absolutely it matches. Doesn't matter what, once you follow this method properly, you will get the full correct answers. But make sure you input all the values properly and you will definitely get the answer. And that is the end of part 1. Finally, we have finished all the questions. I wish you all the very best for your exams. Please do study well. Don't keep it at the last minute. Try to revise as early as possible. If you have any doubts, please do post them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you very soon. You can find all the explanation videos of part 1 questions and part 2 questions in my channel. I just want to thank each and every one of you for supporting my channel, for subscribing to my channel, for sharing my videos with your friends. I really appreciate it so much. I'm so grateful to all of you guys for all the support, for all the love. I just want to wish you all the very best. I hope everyone gets great marks in their exams. I wish you good luck and take care.